Good morning. Good morning. What is going on, everybody? Good morning to you. The first Monday of the Luka Doncic era. First Monday here. Those levels, right? Good morning. Cheers to everybody here. Oh, what an interesting week. What an interesting weekend. My God. The hell is going on out here? Thank you very much for being a part of the show. 8:01 right now. I did start at 8. I don't want anybody telling me it's late or late. Started 8 o'clock on the dot. All right. Cup of Joe here. Let's enjoy our cup of coffee this morning. I don't need to tell everybody here today that we got a lot to get into because we kind of got a lot to get into. All right, before I give everybody a quick rundown of the show, what we're going to be doing, why we're going to be doing it. Let's throw out a quick quote here, kind of get the morning started as we always do. If this is your first time on the Sleeper Show, welcome. If you've been here for just finished 4 months of the Sleeper Show, thank you for being a part of it. Channel's been around for a while, been talking Lakers for a while, but now the Sleeper Show. Here's a quote. I remind myself every morning, nothing I say this day will teach me anything. So if I'm going to learn, I must do it by listening. I remind myself every morning, nothing I say this day will teach me anything. So if I'm going to learn, I must do it by listening. I like that quote. I like that quote right there. All right, we got a great show lined up. So let me give everybody just a quick idea of what we're going to be doing today. As you guys know, this is what we put some content out, obviously on Saturday after the Lakers played the Knicks. And then quickly right after that, we got into the we did the post-game show. And then obviously the Luka trade had gone down. Yesterday, I had a chance to chat with Eric Pincus, put up some more content. So we'll just listen. Whatever the hell's going on here with Luka Doncic being a Laker, we'll put up as much content as possible to make sure you guys are getting what you're looking for. So thank you for hanging out. Let me give everybody a quick rundown of the show, and then we'll get things started. New era begins. So for all those that were kind of waiting for what's going to happen after LeBron James, what are the Lakers going to do moving forward? What's this franchise going to look like? What's the front office doing? What's their vision? You got your answer on Saturday night. So we'll spend a little bit of time on that. I got the what's next there with the question marks because I don't know if I'm by myself on this one. I really don't want to see the Lakers just kind of say, well, we got Luka. Let's not worry about the rest of the season. Luka's here, guys. We'll worry about it in the offseason. We'll worry about it moving forward. I don't want to see any of that. So next few days for the Lakers, let's see, obviously what happens. Mavs perspective, it's kind of interesting. Man, they are not happy in Dallas. And I get it and I understand it. But I don't think I've understood it to this extent until I start seeing a lot of these videos, reactions. They are genuinely heartbroken that they lost their franchise player. And I don't blame them. Getting a chance yesterday to listen to Nico Harrison and kind of gives a little bit of his reasoning and everything else. So we'll get a little bit into that. Losing Anthony Davis and Max Christie, I got to be honest, this roster that we got right here, yeah, this ain't going to get it done. But obviously this is for a bigger picture. That's the thought process. But the current roster that the Lakers have, we'll just losing Anthony Davis, what exactly that means, what AD was to the Lakers. Losing Max Christie, that's a guy that who would have thought was going to be as much of a contributor as he was for the Lakers through the first more than half of the season this year and what he was able to do. We'll touch on that. Trevor Lane, Lakers Nation, is going to come up in about 10 minutes. Weekend recap, and then we're going to call it a day. Couple quick announcements here I just want to make mention of. Number one, I started last night kind of finishing what I needed to do just for the beginning portion of this for memberships. So for those that don't know, you can now be an MVP member of the Sleewa Show and Hoops Talk. It's $3 a month to be a part of it. as we kind of get a little bit further along, I'll give more details of what being a member means, because there will be exclusive content for members and things that I will do exclusively. But for now, if you're just looking for a way to support the channel and you like what I'm doing and you want to find a way to help the channel and help the channel grow, $3 a month. You can be a part of the Sleva Show and Hoops Talk, and I will do everything possible to make sure that you're getting value in whatever it is that you're doing. So we'll start the show there, and we'll keep kind of things rolling. And thank you very much for being a part of the show, and thank you for hanging out. I also do have an announcement to make on a new partnership that's starting today with somebody who's been a friend of mine who supported the channel way before I even had a channel, was supporting me when I was at 710 ESPN. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that in just a little bit as well. All right, let's get things started here. What the hell happened on Saturday night? What the hell happened on Saturday? If you guys want to see something kind of funny, I was doing the post-game show. Just doing my thing. Lakers just beat the Knicks, kind of feeling good about it. And then I'm like, I'm seeing this tweet, or I'm actually seeing people in the chat saying, what the hell did Shams just say? And I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm in the middle of a show. I don't have time to figure this out right now, what Shams is doing. And then finally, I'm like, all right, I think I got to go take a look here at what Shams tweeted, because I got 3-4 people that are coming on, 5 people. Now another one, 6-7 people reacting to this. And I had absolutely no idea what anybody was talking about. So then I go on Shams' Twitter and I see, obviously, the trade. Guys, I don't know how you guys felt. By the way, this was all live too. So this was like, I didn't have a second to figure this out. I mean, I was just going off of the tweet that I'm seeing. I'm live, so my reaction's live. It's kind of pretty funny. So if you guys do want to see it, it is up there. Just go look at the post-game show on Saturday. Saturday's post-game show was 3 hours and 25 minutes. Not because I was breaking down Jared Vanderbilt or Austin Reaves. No, it's because Luka just got traded to the Lakers. But anyways, long story short. So as I'm as kind of the dust is figuring itself out, man, this might go down as genuinely one of the most shocking NBA moments, maybe in NBA history. Am I being too dramatic when I say that? I don't think I'm being too dramatic when I say that. When you look at, and I'm talking about from a trade perspective, I'm not, if anything that happened, or I'm sure squads beating teams they shouldn't have beat, maybe Dallas beating Miami with LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. You can sit back and be, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. But you're watching that unfold. You know what the finals are. You're seeing every single game that's played. This one was just out of nowhere. Shams is telling the world AD has been traded from the Los Angeles Lakers for Luka Doncic, and whatever details that you put in there, it's like bullshit. Shams, bullshit. I'm during the middle of my broadcast, I'm like, guys, I'm not going to report on this. There's nothing to report on. You guys, what is this? A fugazi, as we like to call it? I'm not reporting on this. And then slowly but surely, it took me like 10 minutes to realize, no, Shams wasn't hacked, followed by ESPN wasn't hacked. I'm like, they all got hacked. Mark Stein got hacked. Chris Haynes got hacked. ESPN got hacked. Bleacher Report, yeah, they got everybody. Whoever the hell's, this might be the most intelligent hacker I've ever seen in my life. They got everybody. Just a freaking crazy Saturday night. It really was. And as we sit here today, eventually we're going to get a chance to hear from Luka. Eventually we're going to get a chance to hear from LeBron and Rob and everything else. But man, what an absolute trip of what kind of took place here over these last 48 hours or so. A new era begins for the Lakers. This is going to be the first time where I think, from a Laker perspective, a fan perspective, over the last 7 years, that you can actually see beyond LeBron James. you can actually see beyond what the Lakers, what the vision is moving forward. They don't have a good team right now. They don't. I mean, the pieces don't match, but I don't think that was, Rob Pelinka was trying to figure that out in this one move. Rob Pelinka was saying, I can grab one of the top 3 players in the NBA who's 25. I'll figure out everything else later. And they will figure everything else out. I mean, who knows how much they're able to figure out between now and Thursday. I know that's going to be a conversation. I know that's going to be something that we're all looking at, but the new era for the Lakers officially has begun. You can start asking, who do you want to pair Luka with? You can start asking, what does this look like in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 8 years from now? I put out a video yesterday, and I was working on. Sometimes I'm the guy trying to do all the thumbnails here. Not all the time, but sometimes I got to do it on a Sunday or on a random day, and it's not my field. But I was working on it yesterday, and the title of it was Luka's got a shot to be a Lakers legend. This I'm not being dramatic about. This I'm being just genuine and honest. If you think of other Laker greats, and I put this thumbnail together, and it's got Kobe, and it's got Shaq, and it's got Kareem, and it's got Jerry West, and it's got Magic, and I stopped there, and I could have gone, continued to put Jamal Wilkes and James Worthy and Pau Gasol and Wilt Chamberlain and, Michael Cooper, and go down the list of all the other Lakers that I missed that are Hall of Famers or they got their jersey retired or whatever the case is. Luka's got a chance to be in that conversation with these Laker greats because he's going to be a Los Angeles Laker at age 25, and he's already top 2, top 3, top 4 in the league. Completely new era, and I think it slapped everybody across the face. Nobody understood or nobody knew that it was going to happen. The question marks that were still there were all around, how much longer is LeBron going to play? Can the Lakers make a run right now? Are you getting a backup center for Anthony Davis, which was what he's requesting? And then everything just changed like that. And now we're all kind of trying to put the pieces together of what this is going to look like. When Trevor comes on, we'll spend a little bit of time on this, and certainly today I'm going to do everything I can to kick back. Let's not worry about the time, how long we're here for, any of that stuff. I think we're just going to kick back and enjoy the show, and we'll go as long as we need to go. But I'll get some of your guys' reaction and everything else. But one of the questions now for me is, okay, well, you went out and you made this blockbuster trade. You went out and did something that nobody was expecting. What do you do now? What's next? Between now and Thursday, what are the Lakers going to do? And I think we all, agree with this, and we all understand this. There's a long way to go for this Lakers team. They got to figure out, there's so much to figure out what they're going to do with the roster. And, obviously that's going to be an important element to this entire thing. So we'll have to, obviously kind of wait and see what the Lakers end up doing. But we're certainly going to talk about it because they're going to have to figure out a lot of different things. Okay. I mentioned a little bit earlier, and I want to spend some time talking about a new partnership here. It's actually the first partnership that I have that's a part of the Sliwa Show. So let me tell you guys a quick story. There's an individual that I've known now that targeted me when I was at 710 ESPN. His name is Brad Wallace, and he runs a local firm called the Wallace Firm. And I've known him now for probably about 5 years. When I was at 710, there was a time there where basically, he had the option. He was interested in doing some sports marketing, things along those lines. He could have kind of gone with some different talent. He's like, I want that guy. Targeted me. I'm like, me? Okay, sounds good. So I worked with Brad Wallace for a couple of years on 710 ESPN. Known the guy now for 4 or 5 years, like I mentioned. And what I'm really, really trying to do more than anything else right now is make sure that if I have partnerships, I have either a tie to these individuals specifically, that I can literally introduce you to somebody if you're ever in a position where you need someone like this. Or partnerships that just make sense, and kind of a combination of the two. So I want to shout out the Wallace Firm. Like I mentioned, Brad Wallace, he's him, his legal team, the Wallace firm. They are somebody that if you're ever in, and I hope nobody's ever in a situation like this, but um, big injury case, wrongful death cases. It's one of those, I guess, situations that I hope I never have to make a recommendation to talk to him. But you guys know that if you're in the state of California, people are always out on the road or whatever the case is, whatever situation that you find yourself in. If you're in legal trouble, he can help. Like I said, I'll make a personal introduction to the individual, somebody that I really, really appreciate, somebody that's been in the industry for a long time, somebody that supported me when I was at 710 is now supporting me on this channel. So shout out to the Wallace firm, first partnership here on the Sliwa Show, and obviously a part of this channel. So I really, really appreciate that. There's information here, and I'll link it. Obviously, I'll link everything to YouTube here. But like I mentioned, we created a URL as well. If you're ever in a situation where you're in a situation like this, wallacewins.com/Sliwa, and they'll be able to help. So I'll share kind of more information as we go. But for now, thank you to their partnership. They will be a partner of this show, the post-game show, and everything else. So shout out to them. All right, let's continue here. I want to welcome in our guest, Trevor Lane, Lakers Nation, taking the time. Good morning.
Morning, Alan. How you doing?
Good morning, buddy. I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Doing well. Exciting time of year. Love the NBA trade deadline. And now we got to do
something happened?
No, nothing. No, it's been pretty quiet. Been getting restful sleep for sure because there's not been much going on. And I don't know. Just kind of waiting for something big to go down, I guess.
Yeah, I take you as somebody that I don't know, Trev. I don't feel like you're on top of your game. I feel like you're not putting up enough streams. You're not putting up enough content. Like, I'm just saying, are you committed or no? Are you committed or no?
No, I've definitely been slacking. I got to pick it up, and it's something I got to look myself in the mirror in the morning and say, hey, it's time to really start going here because it's a lack of motivation. I think that's what it is, Alan.
All right. Well, I think we all know this. Can I just get your initial reaction? Saturday night, Lakers beat the Knicks. Just give me your initial reaction because I think for everybody, we are all shocked and surprised this. But just can you walk me through what that 10 minutes of seeing Shams tweet? Did you instantly believe what was going on, or was there a lot of hesitation to believe? Just kind of walk me through it.
No. So I did our post-game show for Lakers Knicks, and that was an awesome game. And I wish I had stayed on the air for like 10 more minutes because then my live reaction would have been on there. But I finished our post-game show. I shut down my studio and everything, and I go out and I'm talking to my wife, and then I'm gonna go and I was gonna change out of my shirt, and I look at my phone and I see the Shams notification, and I'm pretty sure I swore. And my wife's like, "What?" I said, "No, I think this is fake, but there's this weird thing, and there's no way this is real." And instantly, my phone starts blowing up, and everybody is texting each other, and all these different notifications are going off, and everything. And is this real? Is this fake? My phone rings, and it's a radio host in Memphis that I know, and I answer it. I'm like, maybe he knows, and then he thinks maybe I know. And I'm talking through it with him as further notifications are going off, and Shams tweets out, "No, this is 100% real, or 1,000%, or whatever it was."
Okay, can I tell you, when I saw that second tweet,
yeah,
I'm like, this hacker is a genius.
That's what I thought. This makes it more fake. Was the fact that that came out?
How dumb is that? I'm saying to myself, and okay, so you were saying you weren't live. Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually just wrapping up. So I was just finishing next game Lakers got is the Clippers, answering a couple of questions, and I'm looking in the comments, and some people are like, "What is Shams talking about?" I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. So I actually got that, what you were saying, that kind of live reaction that was going on. Yeah. I had that. But the second tweet, I remember I shared my screen, and I'm like, guys, come on. Is somebody really going to follow up with this is real? I'm like, this guy's a genius.
I thought, yeah. And so I'm looking at it, and Alan, I initially went to, well, wait, whenever Shams puts news out, there's a graphic with it, right? Kind of like he's inherited the Woj graphics folks,
Yep.
that's what we see. I'm like, there's no graphic with this. That means it's fake. And then it popped up on Threads, and my Threads notification went off, and it was him posting on there too. I'm like, wait a minute, there's no way somebody hacked both social media accounts and it's on there. And then it started coming from other people saying this is real. I think Dan Wojcicki, he said this is real, and Eric Pincus said, oh no, this is real. And I thought,
Mark
oh my
Stein
god,
put it out there.
yeah. And I had just done, I was just on the air for 4 hours straight doing the play-by-play of the game. We did a little pregame, we did the postgame, all of that. And I just said hi to my wife, how you doing? And I said, see ya. And she's like, okay, see you later. And I don't think I stopped till it was close to a little bit after 3 a.m., I think, by the time I actually stopped, because that was absolute madness. But Alan, that will forever now be I remember where I was when moment. Like, that's going to be, we're going to be talking about that trade and the just chaos from when that was announced for years from now, which is amazing.
Yeah, I kind of, it's the way I started the show. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be one of those moments, in NBA history where it went down. It didn't matter whether you're it's so funny. I had family texting me yesterday. Okay. Two of my cousins I grew up with, one of my uncles and my sister were all on the chain. Okay. It was the most random combination of people that were asking me about Luka. I'm like, so you guys haven't watched. Too. I'm like, you guys have not watched basketball since probably Eldon Campbell retired. Okay. You're coming to me now asking about Luka. It's so funny how this one trade, and obviously a global icon, I think people, whether you're a basketball fan or you're not, they know who Luka is, right? I think most people know who Jokic is. Maybe they don't know who Shai Gilgeous is, as great as he is, but there's certain players that people know. So yeah, whatever. I'm getting some new text chains that I wasn't expecting to be on my list.
Exactly. And I think that really speaks to how big of a deal this is, that you're having, that's happening to me too. I'm getting people reaching out that I don't like. All the people I talk basketball with all the time, of course we're talking, but I'm getting people reaching out that I only talk hoops with like once or twice a year, or only talk to once or twice a year, messaging me like, hey, this is crazy, can't believe this is happening on. I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is a huge thing for the Lakers. And again, all of this just points to what a big deal it is that Luka, he's coming to LA. It doesn't feel real.
I agree.
Like, it still hasn't really sunk in.
Yeah, I think we all watched that, him arriving last night, gets off the plane. He's got a photo with Pelinka there. I think Kleba's in that photo as well. And I'm with you. It doesn't feel real. Okay, let's kind of start breaking a little bit of this, and let's just focus on Luka here for a quick second. I know what Luka is. I know what Luka has done so far. I mean, really has done just incredible things before the age of 25, just unbelievable things, or before 26 as he's 25. What did help those understand? You're as big of an NBA fan as it gets. What did Lakers get on Saturday night? What is this? Help me walk into what this new era of Lakers basketball is going to be.
I think you got, he doesn't have the same athleticism, but I think in terms of what you're getting the closest thing to LeBron that's not LeBron. And that's in just the way that Luka plays the game. You're getting a true superstar to be the next guy. And that's why, as messy as the Lakers roster is, they had to make this trade. This is the face of Lakers basketball, ideally from the Lakers perspective, for the next 10 years. That's what we're talking about here. And that's why this was a no-brainer. You have to make this move, even if it does make your roster a little bit messy right now. You are getting the guy to build around for the next potentially decade in Los Angeles, and that, I think, is extremely exciting. This means for Lakers fans, This means not enduring a prolonged and painful rebuild like we saw in the post-Kobe years. This means that they now have a 1A star that they're going to be building around moving forward. They're going to have somebody to attract talent to LA. The hardest thing to do when you're rebuilding is to get that first star in. The Lakers now will have that first star in, and they'll be able to build off of Luka in this post-LeBron era, whenever that starts. If it's after, it could be this summer, it could be next year. We'll see. Whenever LeBron does decide to ride off into the sunset, the Lakers have a star in place to build around. And I mean, this is massive. This is massive. For those of us that were Lakers fans that have been around for a while, we remember how tough that was in the post-Kobe years, when it's just praying that Brandon Ingram or praying that Lonzo Ball or D'Angelo Russell will become the next guy, that you got that guy in the draft. That's not a question for the Lakers anymore. They've got that guy, and now they're building around this.
Yeah, it was it was the worst era of Lakers basketball. I think I can comfortably say that post Kobe. Even those, last couple of years of Kobe, you weren't competing. You were just kind of appreciating what Kobe was there. But you're right. I think what you said there is most important. I kind of done my best to try to explain kind of what exactly this means for the future. If you're a superstar out there, and I'm not telling you that they're going to line up to come play for the Lakers, but what I will tell you is, if you're a player out there that's kind of looking at your contract and you're saying, okay, when do I become a free agent? Okay, I could go play at this place or that place or this place. Or I could go play for one of the most powerful brands in all of sports. I can go play for the Los Angeles Lakers, and a 25, 26-year-old Luka Doncic is waiting. He's already there. And I think what you said about that, getting that first domino to go your way. And this is me, and like you just said, because we're going to get into what are the Lakers going to do between now and Thursday. How can they kind of improve their chances over these next couple of days? And fortunately for the Lakers, they do have a couple more days before the trade deadline. But I think big picture, you're another superstar out there. Your agent, having conversations with him, thinking about endorsements, thinking about the global brand that is the Lakers. They just became so much more attractive for the next 3 to 5 years plus, and I know Luka's only 25, 26 years old, but I think if you just look at it from that window, for the next 5 years, I don't think it's going to take very long to see what that new era of Lakers basketball is post LeBron. Luka was the foundational piece, but I think you got to feel pretty damn good that additional pieces will be coming over the next couple of years.
Absolutely. This is a situation the Lakers are now putting themselves in, where you've got a guy you're going to build around. You're going to be adding pieces that are going to fit with Luka, and that's now the vision moving forward for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'll tell you what, Alan, this is from on multiple levels. This is, as Rob Pelinka has said before, manna from heaven, right? That this was able to land in the Lakers' laps. And this is frustrated fans of other teams around the NBA. They're like, of course, the Lakers, right? The Lakers always seem to get these guys, Celtics fans, angry to no end. But they are able to now.
They shouldn't be mad at the Lakers. They should be mad at the Dallas Mavericks on this one.
Well, yes. But the Mavs decided they really wanted Anthony Davis. That was Nico Harrison decided that's the piece that they wanted. They wanted Anthony, and the Mavs are good. The Mavs have a really good team now. I hope they are kind to Anthony Davis. I know Mavs fans are very angry, but from the Lakers side, you were staring down a future where you were going to have LeBron riding off into the sunset. You were going to have Anthony Davis at 33, maybe, suddenly becoming maybe 34, the 1A guy on the team. That's what Anthony Davis was about to be. And you're faced with the prospect of trying to sell guys, hey, come play with 33, 34-year-old Anthony Davis. And there's questions. Is AD, and AD is great. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year already. I believe he was robbed. But is he a true 1A guy? I think that is still a little bit questionable. It's not a question with Luka. He is a 1A guy. We know that you're building your team around him. So you go from that uncertain future. Who knows? Maybe LeBron would walk away and AD would say, yeah, you know what? I want out too. Let's talk trade. And then you're into a full rebuild. Or you're trying to convince players to come play with 33, 34-year-old Anthony Davis. Neither of those scenarios I think is great for the Lakers moving forward. So you're able to get a guy who now you've got 27-year-old Luka, say, by the time LeBron walks away, that you're convincing people to come play with. And that is a much easier sell, a much brighter future for LA. Plus, people are just dismissing and saying, oh, this is, this sets them back this season and everything. Let's see what the roster looks like on Friday. Let's see what the Lakers can do to continue to give themselves a shot this year. Because you know what? You put Luka and you put LeBron on the floor. If you're able to find the right pieces around them, I'm not counting them out. I'm not counting out those two guys. I'm not going to assume they're just writing off this season. No, let's see what the roster looks like, because I think there's more to come here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, I know that this is very Laker fan-esque. Here you are, you just got Luka, and, one of the first things you're saying is, okay, cool. So what's next?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure every fan base is like, what are you talking about? What's next? You just got Luka. Shut up, right? But this roster is so incomplete right now. I mean, the reality is, if I told you who's got a better shot this year to win a championship, Dallas or the Lakers, it's Dallas.
Absolutely.
I mean, they at least it's more well-rounded of what, they kind of know what their identity is. I think for the Lakers, it was just grab Luka and we'll figure it out. But I'm with you on this. And I think this is going to be fascinating for Pelinka, because these next few days that you're talking about, I'm assuming that Rob Pelinka is not sitting back and saying, that's it, we got him, got the guy. And by the way, he has every right to do this if he wants to. He could say, I'm not making a trade before Thursday. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking big picture, and I'm going to hold on to that draft pick. And let me see how it is with Reaves and Dalton Connect, and how does Dorian Finney, even though we already know that. He has every right to say that. I don't see it happening. They got too many holes on the roster, and I think there has to be this kind of competitive juice to say, I got Luka, I got LeBron. Let me at least make some moves to just shore up the lack of size, shore up the rebounding, shore up a little bit more perimeter defense, if you want to call it. I'm not telling you they got to go make a blockbuster move, but wouldn't you feel like if they got to Thursday and they did nothing else, it would feel incomplete's not the right way to put it, but a little bit of like, just give Luka and LeBron somewhat of a pathway to see what these two greats can do together for that playoff
100%.
run.
100%. Yeah. You've got to make those moves right now. To still not give LeBron a chance to win in the postseason, which is the way the team is constructed right now. Jackson Hayes is the only center that's on a regular contract. You've got a couple of guys. You've got Christian Koloko. You've got Trey Jemison. These guys are on two-way contracts. They're not even playoff eligible because they're on two-way contracts. You have one center on your roster. You have to fix that. They needed a big before the AD trade. Now they really need a big. And I know they got Maxi Kleber, but he's hurt right now. And who knows, he's probably more 4 than 5 also. But you need to go get a big. But if you do that, you're at least still being able to tell LeBron, hey, you've got a chance here. You've got a shot. You've got you two, Luka, LeBron. Let's see what we can do to go make some magic in the postseason. But you've got to round out this roster. And that's why it's such a clear need for the Lakers now, exactly what they have to go do, that it would certainly be disappointing to see them not make another move by Thursday. And I also think now we're talking about future picks. Now I'm not as hesitant to give up the 2031 pick, because now you've got Luka in the fold. Sure. And he should still be around. And we could talk about his contract and what that's going to, entail and all of that. But now I think you've got to be even more aggressive with that 2031 first and go get something done. Go land a big, go find somebody that can play the center position for you. Ideally, find some more guys that are defensive-oriented players that can also shoot from a bit from the outside, because that's going to be it's not rocket science. That's the build around LeBron and Luka. It's guys who can defend and guys who can shoot the three. That's what you're looking for now. Go get a big, and then you know what? LeBron, Luka, roll them out there on the floor and let the chips fall where they may. But I think you can give this group a real shot at doing something in the postseason this year. It's not just about the future. You just got to make sure you land that big.
Yeah, I think you almost kind of owe it to both Luka and LeBron to say, all right, well, I obviously what the Lakers gave up and what they lost key players. AD, one of the best two-way players in the league. Max Christie, who I know that you love, and a lot of Laker fans loved where his development was going, but you lost incredibly key pieces that I mean, let me just use as an example. If Max Christie stayed, you'd be like, oh, God, that's okay. Luka, Max Christie, got a little bit of a backcourt there. You got a guy that can play some defense. Awesome. If they got a different big back, not Kleba, because Kleba's injured, you'd say, okay, there's a little bit of size, but they didn't get that stuff. So, I would be, I would be disappointed if we got to Thursday. But I genuinely believe this, and I love what you said about the 2031 pick. You're going to now all of a sudden say, well, I got to hold on to that pick. Like, the Lakers already are not a franchise that are hoarding these picks and waiting for the next guy to come. They got the next guy. They somehow found a way to keep the pick in this deal with Dallas, as in they didn't give up both first rounders. I'd be surprised if that happens as well. Can I ask you, I want to, you've probably been pumping out so much content and everything else these last couple of days or last 48 hours. From a Mavs perspective, somebody who's a Mavs fan out there, what's been the vibe that you've felt? Because from everything that at least I've been able to cover and get people's initial reactions, they are devastated. That Luka's gone. Devastated. And, I listened to, and I'm sure you did as well, you listened to Nico Harrison yesterday with Jason Kidd, and he's kind of giving his justification. Here's what happened, how it happened, all that stuff. How would you feel if you're a Mavs fan right now, who, again, they got a good team? Like, don't get me wrong. I think people are almost trying to make it sound like we're underselling what Anthony Davis is, or Max Christie can't be a nice piece, or something along those lines. How would you feel if you're that franchise and you got this guy that you feel like you're going to build a statue of when he's done playing, a guy that didn't seem like he was going anywhere or felt like he wanted to go anywhere? What would you feel about that?
I mean, I've seen a lot of Mavs fans who say we're not Mavs fans anymore. Like, they're not interested in, and this could be, being overly dramatic in the moment, but they don't want to watch NBA basketball anymore. They're done. And I get it. I mean, look, I think they're closer to an NBA championship now than they were before the trade this season. I think they actually have a roster that fits really well together. Anthony Davis is going to get to play the four a lot more, and because they've got Daniel Gafford, because they've got Derek Lively when he returns from injury. They've got pieces that will allow Anthony Davis to play out there. They've got a killer defensive team with Max, with the pieces that they've got there. They've got Najee Marshall. You've got PJ Washington. They can be a very, very good team. And I don't want to say they're underselling AD, but I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised with how damn good Anthony Davis is. And the same with Max. I think people don't understand, because they're not watching the Lakers every night like we are, how good Max Christie has become over the last, say, month or so. And I think they're going to be really happy with Max Christie as well. But Luka is generational. Luka is a generational star. If you were to start franchises today, if you were to wipe the slate clean and have a draft, and you're starting a team today, Luka is what, at worst, picked third, maybe fourth in that draft.
I don't think he gets to fourth. I think
he probably does not.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So to lose that guy that was going to be your guy, that was going to be your next Dirk, the generational star that's putting up numbers that you just do not see. The all-time greats of the all-time greats are putting up the numbers that Luka's been putting up. To lose that guy, I get it why Mavs fans are upset. Maybe you're concerned about his conditioning. Maybe you're concerned about giving him a supermax or something like that. But the talent that the Mavs just lost, boy, those fans are not happy. I get why, especially when we look at other trades around the NBA. Mikal Bridges gets 5 first-round picks, and Luka gets 1. Now, AD is worth a lot more than the other pieces that came back in the Mikal Bridges trade. And I think Max Christie is probably worth at least 1 first-round pick on his own. So I think there's still value there. But I get it why, if you're a Mavs fan, you're thinking, what is going on? The front office has abandoned us. They are They made a huge mistake. And on top of that, I mean, just process-wise, why not open that up to the league? Why not shop him around to the league? Apparently, they felt like there was only one true defensive big that they could really get that made sense, and that was Anthony Davis. And so they didn't want to open it up to a wider search. But Mavs fans are livid right now, and I don't blame them. You gave up a generational star. You gave up your guy for the next 10 years for maybe a shot to win this year, maybe next year, maybe a 3-year window for the Mavs, and we'll see how that all works out. But they're not happy.
Yeah, it's simple, kind of, how it works out too. This is where my confusion lies, and we'll find out a lot about Nico Harrison over these next couple of years. But my confusion lies in this: you just got to the NBA Finals, so you're clearly not far away. This is part of the thing I didn't understand with the Minnesota Timberwolves. You're going to trade Karl Anthony Towns now, like. Give your squad a chance just to see if they can compete. And I get it. There's money that's involved. I mean, I think it's absurd that they think he's not worth $345 million. It's the NBA. This is how it works. This isn't an open market like baseball. He's just making what he can based on the salary cap and what super maxes are and everything else. But this is what Nico Harrison has created for himself. The only way this becomes okay and they apologize to Nico Harrison, the pressure is literally you have to win a championship.
Yep.
And you don't have a crazy window to do it. And you're also depending on Kyrie, Anthony Davis. You're depending on guys that have a little bit of an injury history. I'll knock on wood. Hopefully nothing happens. But, man, what a risk to take. And for the Lakers, I think this also has something to do with it from a Mavs perspective. I think the fact that he ended up with the Lakers.
Sure.
I think there's probably a lot of franchises out there that are sitting back and saying, if you're mad at the Lakers in the past, you shouldn't be mad at them this time. Because this time, Nico Harrison called the Lakers and asked, hey, I'm trying to get Anthony Davis. What do you think of a deal? Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss just are probably sitting back saying, again, it's not that they didn't give up talent. It's not that AD is not special in himself and everything else. But the fact that the Lakers were able to get Luka at 25 and it was the Mavs calling the Lakers, I genuinely will never understand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't fault the Lakers. And it's Rob Pelinka's relationship that he has with Nico Harrison from back in the day that really helped get this done. But you can't fault the Lakers. It's not like the Lakers called up the Mavs. The Mavs brought this to them, but that in and of itself is frustrating to fans that hate the Lakers. So I've seen a bunch of Celtics fans going, we were finally going to get a down Lakers period here. LeBron was going to fall off, AD was going to fall off, and the Lakers were finally going to have to pay for their mistakes over the last 5 years or so. They've messed up so much. They were finally going to have to pay for that. And we were going to love to get to point and laugh at them. And now they get handed Luka, and people they keep jumping back on this. Well, they're the Lakers, and guys just keep falling in their laps. And they didn't do anything to deserve it, to earn it, any of that kind of stuff. Their front office made a ton of mistakes over the years, and Luka just magically appears because it's the Lakers. It's just what happens to them. It's like they're just getting bailed out. That's the sentiment I've seen. So it's magnified because if this was the Hornets that Luka was going to, Mavs fans would still be upset. People would still be talking about how the Mavs got fleeced and all that kind of stuff. But it gets magnified for sure because it's the Lakers, and there's a lot of Lakers haters out there, and those Lakers haters were salivating over the idea of what the post-LeBron and AD era was going to look like for LA, and now that's gone.
Trev, I'm curious to get your thoughts. I know we talked a little bit about between now and the trade deadline. Any specific players that, as the dust has kind of settled, that you think the Lakers should be going after or would be a good fit that you think is realistic at this point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that in terms of skill set, you're looking for, particularly at the big position. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You have to get a center, maybe multiple centers. You may need two, but you need to get a starting quality big man. And so we're looking at some of the names that are out there. Atlanta's Clint Capella, who has now been moved to the bench behind Onyeka Okongwu. He's an interesting one. Nikola Vucevic, I think he's very available with the Chicago Bulls, who already moved on from Zach LaVine last night. I think he is a worse fit now on this team now that Anthony Davis is not there. So I don't know that he should be the target, but he's another name that's out there. Jakob Poeltl would be a favorite of mine. Miles Turner as well. They're more difficult to get, but those are two guys I'd be very interested in if I'm the Lakers. I think Walker Kessler, you could argue, may even be a better fit with the Lakers now, but Danny Ainge is Danny Ainging and wanting insane things for him. But
how much, just out of curiosity, will it hurt now that they only got one first rounder?
It does hurt. It does hurt that they only have one first. Now, does it hurt for if they want Vucevic? No. I mean, you can get him for that. I'm very confident of that. It hurts in that, like, if you wanted, say, Walker Kessler,
Miles Turner,
yeah, those teams are wanting multiple firsts, and you no longer have that. You also are down to, I think, 1 second-round pick for them to move as well. So there's not a lot for them to add in, and that's where we're looking at, do you give up Dalton Connect now? Do you move on there? What do you do in order to make this happen? But there's some names out there. Then we look at the below the 20 million, the players I've been naming so far, $20 million players. You want to go below that, you've got your Jonas Valanciunas, your Robert Williams, that kind of $10-ish million tier, your Kelly Olynyk, players like that. And that's where you're probably building something around maybe Gabe Vincent or something, who now I think is even more important to this team. I think that he is an even better fit with Luka. So there's questions about who do you want to move on from just in order to match salary. And then, of course, what I think would be the best get if you could get him, and I don't think they can, but Walker Kessler at just about $3 million that you can go make something work for him without having to disrupt the rest of your lineup. But again, I don't know that he's actually, if it sure sounds like the Jazz are not planning on trading him. So there's names out there. A lot of it comes down to what do teams want for these guys and what are the Lakers willing to pay in order to get them. In addition to what pieces are you willing to move off your roster? Is it Rui Hachimura? Is it Gabe Vincent in order to go make this happen?
Have you at least has it sunk in at all? What are your thoughts on Luka and LeBron playing together? How do you think? Or is a lot of that going to depend on some of the additional pieces that you're talking about to try to find a mix between those two? Obviously, both are ball dominant, both need the ball in their hands, but one is 40 and the other one's 25. So have you had a chance to kind of think of what that can look like?
Yeah, I'm not so worried about Luka and LeBron, and for a few reasons. First of all, I mean, LeBron has been shooting the hell out of the ball. He can shoot the three. He's better off ball than people give him credit for. He's better as a cutter than people give him credit for. What I would not prefer to not see it devolve into is sort of a taking turns thing here. Right, sure. Where they come down, okay, this possession is your turn. Okay, now this guy gets it this way. Yeah, that's not good. That's what I don't want to see. But it will take time for them to develop that chemistry and that cohesiveness. But I'm talking, I mean, you think about it. These two guys, they're two of the top, 5 passers in the NBA? 2 of them now. I mean, at worst, 2 of the top 5 passers in the league on the same team. I think these guys are so good manipulating the offense, getting where they want to go. I think they're going to be just fine playing together. No, I'm not worried at all about Luka and LeBron. I think it's going to be awesome. I think these two guys can absolutely play together. They have to avoid the your turn, my turn type dynamic. But as long as they do that, these guys are going to be great together. The question is, for me, it's Austin. How does Austin fit with Luka? Can you have, because we know LeBron can have down games defensively. Luka, not known as a good defensive player. That means the other 3 guys on the floor have got to be really good defensively. And then Austin has had the ball in his hands and he's been thriving. I mean, post D'Angelo Russell, Austin's numbers are through the roof. He's been excellent. What happens with Austin and his game, and how does that change and shift? And I think he can play off ball. He can play on ball. But to me, I'm not worried about Luka, LeBron. I'm really curious to see how does Austin Reaves now fit into all of this.
Do you take and listen, one man's opinion in this? Do you look at that roster and you had mentioned Dalton Connect as, hey, do you look at trading him? If the only way you're going to get real assets back and try to help yourself to win right now, are you putting Austin Reaves in any conversation between now and Thursday?
Yeah, I think you have to consider it.
Yeah, I am too.
You have to consider it, and he's still a great value. I'm not saying you give him away. I'm not saying you just say, oh, Clint Capella for Austin Reaves. Let's go ahead and do that. No, you've got to, it would have to be significant, the player that you're getting back in order to give up Austin Reaves. But I think you now have to consider that. I think you have to consider moving on from Dalton Connect. I think if the opportunity was there, I would have put Dalton Connect in that trade instead of Max Christie, and I would have helped him and kept him. I don't think that was an option for the Lake, but if that option was there, I would have done that. And I think you need to seriously consider moving on from Dalton Connect here at the trade deadline. You also need to seriously consider moving Austin Reaves to add pieces that are going to fit this roster, because it is a bit clunkier of a fit now with both of those guys.
Yeah, I think that's what you just said there. Nothing should be off the table, period. Yeah. This is a completely new era of Lakers basketball. If you traded Anthony freaking Davis, you're not stopping at Austin Reaves or Dalton Connect or any of these other guys. It could be anybody that, obviously to improve this roster and just be a better fit to what this new era is going to look like. All right, brother. Actually, final one. Last, you worry about the Luka conditioning, all of that stuff that we've heard over these last couple of days. It's kind of the way the Dallas Mavericks have justified some of what they're doing. I think what was some of the reports that he's up to 270 pounds or something along those lines. I mentioned this and I want to get your thoughts on it. If you don't see the best version of Luka Doncic as a Laker, then I think maybe there's another issue with Luka where maybe basketball isn't the most important thing in his life. But if that guy still has issues with his weight or his conditioning after being as disrespected as he probably feels of getting traded from the Dallas Mavericks, coming to an organization like the Lakers where he's going to try everything in his power to stick it to the team that just traded him, do you have concerns that Luka and some of his conditioning?
Yeah, if you don't see that, because you've got two factors now that I think that are heavily in the side of we're going to get the best Luka you've ever seen. And number one is, yes, you've got angry Luka now. Now you've got motivated Luka. He's got something to take personally. The Mavs traded him away. I think that's going to drive him. You're going to get that version of Luka, the I'm going to show you version of Luka. I think you've got that element for sure. The other bit to this is he's now on a team with LeBron James, who takes care of his body maybe better than anybody else in the NBA. I have a hard time believing that Luka being around LeBron every day and seeing what LeBron does to take care of himself is not going to make an impact on Luka. So those two things, you put the guy next to LeBron and you give him every reason to be extra motivated to stick it to the Dallas Mavericks. I think we're going to get physically, conditioning wise, I think we're going to see the best version of Luka.
Probably a wake-up call for him as well. By the way, that number was being thrown around 270. When he got off the plane yesterday, I'm like, he doesn't look 270.
No.
Not that I know what the hell I'm looking at, but, I saw 238, Trevor, if I was predicting in my own head. All right, brother. Hey, thank you for coming on. I appreciate your reaction to all this. Let's see what happens over the next couple of days, but always love talking hoops with you, so thank you for coming on, buddy.
Same, Alan. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, that is Trevor Lane, Lakers Nation right there. Phenomenal stuff as always from Trev. Yeah, it's completely it's gonna be interesting. Completely new era. I think Trev and I are both on the same page with this, and I'll take a look at some of your guys' comments. I know there's a lot of comments coming in, so we'll get to all those. I would just encourage you, if you put comments in half an hour ago, it's gonna be tough for me to go back. So start putting in some new comments now. Here's what I don't want to see from the Lakers, and I think a lot of Laker fans would agree with this. There ain't a player on this roster that can't be dealt. If Anthony effing Davis got traded from the Los Angeles Lakers, you think they're stopping at Austin Reaves or Dalton Connect or Gabe or Rui? Or I mean, you pick the players that you want. I think between now and Thursday, to me, becomes so incredibly fascinating because of how they round up the rest of their roster. Guys, they got holes. Let's not, sit here and pretend. Luka coming to the Lakers is unbelievable. He's a once-in-a-generational talent. I think we all understand what kind of value that he's going to bring to this organization. 100%. Everybody does. We all understand that. But this roster is incredibly incomplete. So how aggressive does Pelinka get between now and Thursday to say, well, I got to address this right now? I didn't just bring Luka here. I got LeBron, who's 40 years old. I'm not trying to just kick the can down the road for the next year or so. I think that 2031, that first rounder that they have, I think players like Dalton Connect, who got some, obviously got some upside. I don't need to tell you guys about Gabe Vincent and Rui Hachimura. We've talked about them in trade conversations for a while now. And then I think the other one that some people think, hey, this guy's going to be untouchable, he's like Austin Reaves. If you no longer, if Austin Reaves doesn't have the value that he had before on your team because you got Luka, all right, what kind of trade can you get for him? What kind of players can you bring in if Austin Reaves is available with that fantastic contract that he has? Pairing up Austin Reaves and potentially another player and that draft pick. Okay, what does that do for you in the open market? So the last thing I want to see, and I don't think we're going to run into this on Thursday, is that the Lakers just sit back and say, that's it, we're going to do nothing. Losing Anthony Davis and Max Christie, they're a completely different team. And if you're going to play to the strengths of Luka and the strengths of LeBron for now, I know LeBron's going to be more short-term, then they got to go make, obviously, other moves. There has to be some type of a ripple effect. Maybe it doesn't happen. Pelinka could easily just decide, I got Luka. I need a second to figure this out. And I'm not going to do it between now and Thursday. I'm going to wait till the offseason before I start making some of those moves. But it would also be pretty damn cool to see a playoff run with LeBron and Luka where there are some pieces that make a little bit more sense together. All right, let's look at some of your guys' comments. I appreciate you guys hanging out this entire time and being a part of the show. So thank you very much for doing so. First off, I'm going to highlight this here. Sherman Oaks 25, the first MVP member of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. For those who don't know, Nick, thank you very much for being a new member as well. For those who don't know, I mentioned it at the beginning of the show. As always, I always promote, please subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on 30,000. I greatly appreciate that. But you now got an opportunity to be a member. If you want to support the channel, you want to support what I'm doing in my endeavors, it's $3 a month. And I will do everything I possibly can to make sure that you guys are getting value for that $3 a month. It's a great way to support me, the channel, and whatever I get from this, I'll just put it back into the channel like I have been doing. So thank you for being the first members a part of the show. $3. Basically, you're buying me a cup of coffee for the month. All right. And then I'll take care of everything from there. So thank you very much. Let's get to some of these supers here. It's Luka's team now. How do you think James reacts? Listen, I think the message that was sent by the front office and by everybody was very simple. Let me play a scenario out. I had a cousin yesterday that was calling me and we were chatting and we're kind of having a conversation back and forth. Let's just say hypothetically, I think this is going to tell you a lot. Let's just say hypothetically that LeBron got wind that the Lakers were about to trade Anthony Davis, and he tells Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, I don't want you guys to do that trade. AD's my guy. We won a championship together. I don't want you guys to do that. And I'm getting to how do you think LeBron reacts to this? I think Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss would have told LeBron, hey, we appreciate your opinion. We appreciate everything you've done for this organization. This is your 7th year here. You helped us win an NBA championship. You got us back into relevance. Here we are. You're still making it happen at age 40. We got so much respect and love for you. And then you know what they would have told LeBron after that? We're getting Luka. So I don't mean to be blunt here, but I'll be blunt. How do you think James reacts? It doesn't matter. That's the best way that I can put it. And it's not because you don't respect LeBron's opinion. It's not that you don't think LeBron is one of the all-time greats. It's because he's 40. And clearly the Lakers thought, okay, let's play this out. Did the Lakers have a better chance of winning an NBA championship with Anthony Davis and LeBron this year, potentially next year? And we know how loaded the West is, or competitive, let's put it that way, how up in the air the West is. We know the Eastern Conference got some really great teams. Pelinka had to make a decision. Do I still try to win a chip with these two guys? Or is it time to, I just got an absolute gift from another front office with another team that's giving me a 25-year-old that I can instantly start, not even the rebuild rebuilding means you don't have a star. You're drafting, you're starting from scratch. I have a foundational piece for the next 5, 8, 10 years. So how does James react? Whether he likes it or he doesn't, he better A, understand it, and B, adjust to it, because that ship has already sailed. This is already Luka Doncic's franchise. And I know this is kind of a cold business here, but it's already Luka's team. It is. Pretty soon, there at some point here in the near future, we're going to get a chance to hear from Luka. We're going to get a chance to hear from Rob. And the next thing you know, there's going to be, within these next, let's call it week or whatever the case is, Lakers are going to have a home game where Luka Doncic is going to be announced as the starter for the Los Angeles Lakers. And then next thing you know, merchandise is going to be selling off the shelves, and his jerseys are going to be all over the arena. We're already in the Luka era. And so I say all that because I think LeBron James's opinion is still valued and still very important, but it's not going to deter or stop what the Lakers were going to do for this opportunity for Luka. So I think LeBron's probably got to be thinking to himself, this might be kind of fun to see what it's like to play with Luka, 25-year-old. Look at his style. He modeled his game off of me, obviously without the athleticism, but he took his own version of whatever that looked like. All right. Thank you for the super brother. I appreciate you. Let's get a couple more of these in here. Luka is a classic example of what American food does to you versus European food. California diet will get him back to form, though. Some kind of wonderful. Thank you for the super brother. Let me say this because I want to emphasize it, and I had a little bit of that conversation with Trevor. We'll find out what Luka's all about. I mean, I'll tell you what I think Luka is, and I'll tell you what I think Luka is going to be for the Lakers. I think Luka is an absolute killer. Wants to be one of the legends of the game. What Luka's going to have to make sure that he figures out is, in order for him to be that, and in order for him to be a potential Lakers legend and potentially win multiple championships with this Lakers team, it's impossible that his body's not right. His body's got to be right. You know, I can sit here and people can sit here and say, Slee, what's your body fat right now? Well, it's not affecting my broadcast. Okay. I get to be in the lazy industry on this side of a microphone talking about these other unbelievable athletes. Luka does not get that flexibility. Luka, the last thing Luka can be, we can't be talking about his weight. We can't be talking about whether he's in shape or he's not. His conditioning, hey, is because his conditioning, did that lead to this injury? We cannot have conversations. Here's a good thing with Luka. Luka's game does not require him to be a high flyer. Luka's game, think of kind of some of these athletes out here like LeBron, or think of some of these athletes that their game, you need to be an athlete to be the player that he is. Luka, luckily, is a slow motion guy. It's all about using his body properly. His game is slower, just naturally. He doesn't have to bank on his athleticism. But if he wants to take his game to another level, then his body can't be something that we're having a conversation about. It just can't be. Can't be. All right, let's take a look at some more of these here. All right. Honestly, only teams we can trade with for a good big man is Atlanta, Brooklyn, Utah, unless I'm missing someone. Can I tell you guys this about the big men? If they don't trade to address the size that they don't have between now and Thursday, they're not going anywhere. Like there's no noise that they could even. Maybe you can say they can have a competitive first round because they got Luka and LeBron. Guys, you need size and you got to play defense. I mean, for the love of God, Dallas feels like you need size and you need defense, that they just traded a generational talent, and they got size and defense. They got that in Anthony Davis, and they also got that in Max Christie. But they valued it so much, and I guarantee you there's other storylines that will come out about the Dallas Mavericks. You think if Mark Cuban was still the controlling owner of the Dallas Mavericks, they would have traded Luka? Impossible. Would not have happened. Would not have happened. You got a new ownership group that's there. Who knows? Maybe they just don't want to pay the $345 and they can save some money here and save some money there, whatever the case is. I mean, they completely pissed off their entire fan base. So now all they have is you better go win an NBA championship to justify all of this. And getting to the finals doesn't mean anything because they already did that with Luka. So that's not even good enough. But to answer your question here, you can't make any noise without bigs and without defense. And the Lakers right now don't have bigs and they don't have defense. Jared Vanderbilt and Dorian Finney-Smith can't guard 5 guys, right? Luka and Austin Reaves, if that's your backcourt and you thought it was bad when it was, D'Lo and Austin Reaves, they're going to cook these guards in the Western Conference are going to cook Luka and Austin Reaves as if they're not even there. And I think the Lakers will make their adjustments. Maybe now you're taking Austin Reaves, you're bringing him off the bench, you're putting Dorian Finney-Smith at the 2. That's what I would do. Just because, you obviously have to you got to have defensive presence in there. So if they don't go out there and they don't make a trade, listen, if they don't go out there and make a trade, I'm not going to sit here at the trade deadline and say, Pelinka's awful. What is he doing? I'm going to say, all right, Pelinka's thinking big picture. But I'd hate for them not to do something to just at least address. I'm not saying go trade your whole team. What I'm saying is, can you just get a big and a rebounder and a little bit more defense? And they don't have to be blockbuster moves. They just got to be guys that you feel like can fit so we can see what one playoff run looks like. Thank you for the super, brother. Let's keep going here. Who's better, Bucks or Mavs? It's a good question. Look, Mavs are going to be good. I mean, if there are Laker fans on here that just want to hate and they just want to say, oh, they're going to suck. They're awful. They got fleeced. Okay, they got fleeced long term, but short term, Dallas is going to be good. Now, I don't know where they're going to get. They're really going to hurt offensively. That's what's going to happen to them. When you lose Luka, they're going to hurt offensively. But I think what they're trying to create too is that there's more motion. And you know what? You lost Luka, but look at this big that you just got in Anthony Davis. That's going to get you buckets. Kyrie's going to be a little bit more free. Bucks or Mavs? I think I would lean towards Mavs. But if you told me Mavs or Boston, I'm obviously taking Boston. If you told me Mavs or Knicks, I would lean Knicks. If you told me Mavs or Cavs, I would lean Cavs. I'm just talking about these Eastern Conference teams. The West is a little bit wide open right now. Is Nick Claxton available at all? Be a great fit. By the way, Marcus, thank you for the super. Jean-Pierre Briggs, thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate you. Is Nick Claxton available at all? I think anyone, especially a team like that, anyone's available on their roster, right? They're either trying to get picks. They're thinking right now, the teams that are probably willing to make a trade with the Lakers are the teams that are in rebuild mode, maybe want that 2031 first rounder, which I think lost value once you got Luka. I think the 2029 first rounder that Dallas got lost value because Luka's here. A lot of people saw value in those picks because they really didn't know what the Lakers' future was going to be. So a guy like Nick Claxton, I think, would be available. I think the question is, what are you giving up? You only got one first rounder now, so something to keep in mind. That's why I think that takes away guys like Miles Turner, Walker Kessler. Probably some of these guys are out of the way. Maybe not. Maybe Pelinka he already was having conversations with these other GMs and understood and knew what it was going to take. Hey, if I can keep these pieces, I can still go out and make another trade to accommodate where the Lakers are. So we'll see how that obviously plays out there too. But I'm a fan of Nick Claxton too. You heard Trevor Lane talking about Clint Capella and some of these other guys that are out there. Can you guys can imagine on Friday that I was sitting here And I was telling you guys that Lakers got to trade Anthony Davis. People would be like, "This guy talking about? Who is this idiot?" And here we are. Freaking we got all these trades that have gone down. By the way, I got the weekend recap that's going to come up here shortly. And when it does, we'll talk about some of the other trades that went down in the NBA as well. They made last night, the De'Aaron Fox trade to the Spurs sounded like it was like two teams swapping 2 second-rounders. That's how it felt like little significance it had because of the earth-shattering move that happened the night before. Okay, let me get to a couple more of these here. Does AR get you Walker Kessler and a couple more seconds to throw at Robert Williams? I'm not trading Austin Reaves for that. I think you can, if I can't get great value for Austin Reaves, then I'm holding on to Austin Reaves. If I can't get exactly what I need, what I'm looking for, and a player that I think I could hold on to for the next 3 years, I'm not giving up Austin Reaves. Look, I think there's a misconception with me when I talk about getting rid of Austin Reaves as if I don't value Austin Reaves. I can't tell you how much I think I think it's one of the best contracts in the NBA for what he produces on a night in, night out basis, and what he costs is one of the best values you can get in the NBA. Austin Reaves is a baller, and he came out of nowhere, and he's been fantastic for the Lakers, and he's good for business. Obviously for the organization, and a lot of people like him and this and that. And those that hate on him and say, "Oh, but look at his flaws, this and that." Okay, well, what do you want? The guy's going to have flaws. He's not a supermax player. Austin Reaves is who he is. But I think he should be open for business as well. I think Austin Reaves is also one of these players that's on this Lakers roster that if you can find the right guy, if Rob Pelinka gets a call tomorrow and makes a call to somebody else and says, "I want to trade," I'm gonna make a fake trade proposal. Okay, I'm gonna trade again. Completely fake proposal, but I'm making it up as I go. I'm trading Austin Reaves. I'm trading Gabe Vincent. So now I'm at, let's call it 23, 24 million, something like that. And I'm trading my first rounder. I better be getting a really good player back. A player that fits, a player that makes sense, a two-way player wing potentially, a guy that I'm like, okay, he's at the right age. This guy can also play and complement what Luka brings to the table for the next X amount of years. Austin Reaves is a very important piece if the Lakers are going to trade him. You better be getting back what you need, because another team out there is going to get a player that can drop 16 to 20 points a night, get you 5 assists, get you 5 rebounds, can get to the free throw line, can draw fouls, can will become a fan favorite, and he's only making 13, 14 million a year. If Austin Reaves is on the table, I better be getting better value back than this right here. So hopefully that tells you guys how I do actually really, really value Austin Reaves. All right, guys, phenomenal. Thank you for being a member. Dub T, thank you for being a member. Ray Barrios, thank you for being a member. Screw_32, thank you for being a member. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. For those who want to be members, I started last night is when I kind of finished some of the stuff that I was doing to be a YouTube member. Cost $3 a month. Eventually, I will get to a point where I'm doing some exclusive content for members. For now, it's just about, if you want to support the channel, $3 a month. And trust me, I will make sure you get your value of that $3 worth of your investment into this channel. Don't think it doesn't mean a lot to me that somebody's saying, "Hey, I'm going to give out $3 a month." I will make sure that you're getting that value. So thank you very, very much for all these members that signed up today. I really, really appreciate that. All right, let's keep going here. Man, that's one of my favorite things to do, is when I could just kind of go through some of the listener questions and things along those lines. It almost reminds me of when I was on radio when I'm taking phone calls, right? It's like, all right, calling in. Mike from Glendale. What do you want to talk about? Oh, I think this, that. It's like the same thing with these chats. So thank you again. I greatly appreciate that. Slee, I can't explain, but my spidey senses are tingling for Miles Turner. AR and a first should do it. Josh, thank you very much for being a part of the show. I appreciate it. I think you can get more for AR. I think you get more for AR. I do. But now, listen. Lakers don't have a first rounder, or I'm sorry, they only have one first rounder. And the conversation about Miles Turner is it was going to cost 2 first rounders to get him, and then you obviously got to make the money work and everything else. And I think Rui was able to make it work. I wonder how teams value Dalton Connect, because Dalton Connect was a first rounder. Dalton Connect's a first rounder, as in he's a number 17 pick. Okay, you could say we have 2 first rounders. We got 2031 and we have Dalton Connect. That's the equivalent of saying we have 2 first rounders. And I think Connect is going to be a good player in this league. I wonder if there's a way to get a guy like Miles Turner. Here's been my hesitancy on Miles Turner. I've mentioned this to you guys before. Here's what I've been hesitant about when it comes to Miles Turner. Indiana's good enough right now where I don't think they want to tick off their fan base and go make a trade. Let me see something here. I just want to see, if they're still balling out. I know last time I checked, they had won 8 of their last 10 games. They were playing really good ball. They were top 5 in the Eastern Conference. Guys, they're 27-20. They've won 3 games in a row. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. I just don't think he's going to go anywhere. I don't. I think right now, the way I look at this, I think Miles Turner probably stays with the Indiana Pacers. But I'll tell you this as well. I'm not trading AR for Miles Turner. I'm not. I think I could get more for Austin Reaves. I really do. I think I could get more for Austin Reaves. Can I find a trade package for a guy like Miles Turner that includes 2 first rounders, 2031 and Dalton Connect? That's basically 2 first rounders. I don't have that answer, but I don't think the Pacers are going to be that target, because I think the Pacers are looking at their season right now, and I think there's going to be pressure from their fan base to say, can we not sell right now? We're finally playing some good ball. Let's see what we look like in a playoff run. You got Tyrese Halliburton there. Listen, not every franchise. The Indiana Pacers they're not in the playoffs every single year and have some excitement that's coming with that franchise. I'm sure they kind of want to ride this out. Now, that means they could lose Miles Turner in the offseason, so there is some risk there. Josh, thank you, brother. I appreciate the super there. Let me get another one in here. Marcus, I'm going all in on Sabonis. If not, Miles Turner is realistic. Yeah, I think last night's trade between the Sacramento Kings, San Antonio Spurs, and the Chicago Bulls tells you where Sacramento is. They're not trying to sell. The only reason why they got rid of De'Aaron Fox is because De'Aaron Fox told them, trade me now because you're probably not going to get a better package that's out there, because I'm not signing an extension with you. And unless Sabonis is doing something similar, they're not going to trade Sabonis. Remember, they traded Tyrese Halliburton a couple years ago for Sabonis. So I don't think there's an all-in method for Sabonis. I've heard a lot of people say that, but think about and I'll get to that trade here in just a second. Think about what they just did yesterday. Yesterday was a perfect example of the Sacramento Kings are holding onto the rope. They're not letting go of the rope. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to make noise. It doesn't mean they're going to win a round in the playoffs. It doesn't even mean that they're going to get out of the play-in tournament. But that ownership is saying, no, I'm not trying to sell. I'm not trying to be sellers. We want to kind of stay relevant, and that's what they're going to try to do. All right, let's take a look at some of these other comments here. Sliwa working overtime. Oh, this is easy work. Yeah, this ain't overtime. I'm telling you that right now. These last couple of days has been. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I think when you have moments like this, and I know before that trade had even gone down, I know we were already doing shows. There were a lot of shows that we were doing where, obviously we were going hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. One of the things that I'll make sure to do here when I'm doing the show on YouTube, we're not going to be constrained by time. However long we want to go, we're going to go. If the conversation is good, if we're talking, whatever the topic is, if the chats are active, then we'll just keep going. So I'm not worried about that by any stretch of the imagination. I think all that stuff's going to take care of itself. But what I'll never do is go under an hour. I'll never do that. They're not getting rid of Sabonis. I agree with you. Zubats is, don't do that. Don't do that right now. Don't do that. Don't do Zubats right now. Let me tell you something kind of interesting. So, all right, I'm gonna give a little bit of love to the Clippers. Okay, and people are gonna say, Slee, why would you ever do that? Well, let me tell you why. Can I finish explaining here real quick? So, obviously, all right, I leave 710 ESPN, but I still have my access to the Lakers, and that's directly through the Lakers. So the Lakers are nice enough to say, okay, hey, this guy's still covering the team. We know him, we trust him, all that stuff. Cool. Come to any game and we'll, credential you. Lakers played the Clippers in Inglewood last week or 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, well, I got no idea if the Clippers are going to credential me. They could easily say, no, we're good. Especially because most of my coverage is on the Lakers anyways. So 2 weeks ago, I submit, a credential and they approve it. Like, all right, that's phenomenal. It's really nice of them. Thank you very much. And then the Lakers got their asses kicked in Inglewood. Before the trade had gone down for Luka, Saturday earlier in the day, I had already submitted a credential request to the Clippers because Lakers got the Clippers coming up on Tuesday. And I got an email late last night. It's like, hey, you're good for this upcoming Tuesday. So I'll be there tomorrow. It's going to be the first game. We're talking about Zubats here. So, kind of play off of that. But it's going to be the first game that the Lakers play in this new era. Now, I'm not expecting Luka to play. He was out. I think the date that they were targeting was February 8th for him, which is, I think, Saturday, which is right before the All-Star break. I think 2 games left if he comes, it plays on February 8th. They got 2 games against the Jazz. It will be after the NBA trade deadline. But, man, I'm excited about tomorrow. Listening to JJ Redick talk the first time, listening to LeBron talk for the first time, getting people's thoughts and opinion of what they lost, and then the chance to play with Luka. So when you put Zubats on here is playing like an all-star, don't remind me. I mean, that Lakers-Clippers game they played a couple weeks ago, do you remember Zubats' numbers? Guy was, I think, 20-20. He was incredible. He was fantastic. You know what the Lakers are missing right now? Zubats, especially now. And I don't know, how they're going to address the hole that Anthony Davis left behind. Can I talk AD here for a quick second? I think everybody will be okay with this. Man, I love me some AD. I really did. I'm going to miss Anthony Davis. I am. I was already mentally prepared for Anthony Davis to be the future of the Lakers, and you got to go find another player that's phenomenal and another player that's so important that you can put with this team and this roster. I really, really miss AD. Really, really. I'm going to miss Anthony Davis. I loved watching AD play. Now, I know that, there are times we'd bitch and complain about him and we'd say, where's AD in the fourth quarter? But to be honest with you, for the last year and a half, that hasn't happened. If you were bitching and complaining about AD's not available enough, he played 76 games last year. And up until this recent injury that he had with his ab strain, he's basically in every game. I'm going to miss me some Anthony Davis and all the chatter and conversation of, do you guys remember over the last week and a half or so when he had that interview with Shams where he's telling Shams, hey, we need another big. I mean, he's publicly saying it. I was saying that's the most important voice in the entire franchise right now. Go get AD another big. And instead they traded him to the Dallas Mavericks, where he's got some bigs. He's got guys that I think, he was hoping to play for or play with alongside. But the Lakers certainly are going to need some bigs. All right, let's take a look at some of these other comments here. This is a good point here. I like this. Great player, AD, but not a Batman. I agree. If there's one thing that you're not going to have any issue with when you talk about Luka, if there's one thing you're not going to talk about with Luka, Is he a one? Is he a killer? Does he have the mentality of a Kobe, Magic, Bron? Go down the list of some of these players that are franchise players. Like, that is the guy. You're not going to have that issue with Luka, period. There is no, yeah, but this, but that. No, I think with Anthony Davis, you always had this, but he's got to play with another superstar that is at the worst equal to what he is. You didn't have that with Shaq. There's certain players you didn't have that with. And that's not me. I'm honestly not trying to disrespect Anthony Davis. I think I'm just having a real, genuine conversation about AD. That was the one thing with Anthony Davis that I think everybody said, he's just never going to be that killer. And the Lakers need a killer. You know what Luka is? A killer. Does he have holes in his game? He does. Do you got to build this entire team around him? You do. But you got that foundational piece. You got that foundational piece now for the future. But I loved me some Anthony Davis. And I think there's a lot of Laker fans that when the Lakers play the Dallas Mavericks and they play them on February 24th, and the game's going to be at Crypto.com Arena, and it's the first time the Dallas or the Mavs and the Lakers are going to play each other. It's the first time Luka's going to go up against his old team, and it's the first time Anthony Davis is going to go up against the Lakers since he got traded. You know what I think is going to happen at Crypto? When they announce Anthony Davis, be a lot of love for AD, and there should be. There's going to be a lot of love for Anthony Davis, and there should be. That is that is the type of player that you need to win championships. And Anthony Davis delivered. He got them a chip, and he was a key piece. And he did, ask to leave the Pelicans to come to the Lakers. So I think there's going to be a lot of love, for him. I really do. I really think there's going to be a lot of love for him. I see a couple of opinions here. Let's get another. AD was beloved here. He's no longer a Laker. Let's go chasing number 18. Who he's going to be chasing one too. Oh, he's going to want to give it to the Lakers. Are you kidding me? I think AD understands what happened, but I think AD is in complete shock mode as well. AD is probably saying to himself when he walks into that locker room in Dallas, let's go get a chip. Klay Thompson's got a chip before. Let's go get a chip. Kyrie's got a chip before. Let's go get a chip. Now, these are older players, so I'm not telling you that it's going to happen. But there's going to be also this kind of renewed energy of everyone saying, you gave up Luka. What is that front office doing? And it's going to be up to him and that rest of the crew to try to get a championship. That's the only way things are okay in Dallas is if they win an NBA championship. All right. Let's see what we got here. AD has played more games than Luka. Guys, let me say this. If there's any chat here, and it's fine, we could poke holes in the Luka trade. You could say Luka's weight, his conditioning, how healthy he is, everything else. I'm telling you, there's 30 teams in the NBA. If you ask 29 GMs, would you rather have Luka or AD? 29 are going to say Luka. There's only one GM that would take AD over Luka, and that's the Mavs' Nico Harrison. That's it. There's nobody else that would say AD. Not a knock on AD. Generational talent who's 25, who's what he's done at age 25 is as good as any player that's ever played in the history of the NBA. He's been a pro basically since he was an early teenager, 14, 15. He's been a pro. He's a killer in the league. AD or Luka. 29 general managers are going Luka. One GM is going AD, and that's Nico Harrison. He wins a championship to shut everybody else up. He doesn't. He'll be remembered as the guy that traded Luka Doncic at 25. All right, let's get some more here. By the way, a couple shout outs here. Laker Blue 88. Thank you very much for being a new member. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for doing it. Janos Zabo, a new YouTube member. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Means a lot, guys. It really does. $3 a month. I'm going to do stuff just for members. Trust me on that. I will do stuff just for members. But for now, if you want to support the channel, this is a great way to support it. So thank you very much for being a new member. Let's get another one here. Seiko. Herb Jones or Jaden McDaniels for AR. I want to see Herb Jones stats here real quick. And I'm a fan of his game. Jaden McDaniels, I don't think he's going to go anywhere because I don't think Minnesota's going to do anything. I think they're holding on to him for dear life, and they're holding on to what they have. Let's put it that way. They already probably ticked off Anthony Edwards by trading Karl Anthony Towns. I think Jaden McDaniels isn't going anywhere. Herb Jones, 10 a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, phenomenal defensive player. Good size wing, the type of player that you need or that the Lakers will need. Between those two players, I would target Herb Jones before I target anybody. But I don't think Jaden McDaniels is going to be available. But Seiko, you know what it tells me? You know ball, because those are two guys that you need in a playoff run, and those are the type of players that you need. Oh, Austin Reaves, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I don't know if I'm one of the few that's saying, don't tell me Austin Reaves is an untouchable or something like that. I don't want to hear that from anybody. Or I don't know if there's a lot of people that say, no, leave Austin Reaves alone. Let's see how he plays with Luka Doncic. I think they need other things. So I think if you traded Anthony Davis and you got Luka, you already traded away D'Angelo Russell because you wanted Dorian Finney-Smith. I think AR becomes an interesting piece if there are other ways of improving your roster. So I think it's a lot different from that perspective. All right, let's see what else we have here. Is LeBron still on the team? You know what's funny? Can I say this? You guys tell me your curiosity in this, okay? I actually don't know how people are going to feel about this. I want to see LeBron and Luka play together. You guys don't want to see LeBron and Luka play together? I want to see these two play together. The problem is you got so many holes everywhere else. We haven't really got a chance to say Luka and LeBron. That's going to be interesting. And I know LeBron's 40, but go see. Guys, you guys watched the game on Saturday night at the Madison Square Garden? Come on. This man is still dropping triple doubles against one of the contenders in the Eastern Conference that was completely healthy. I know OG Anunoby got hurt, I think it was in that second half. But the man is still looking like he's the real deal. I want to see Luka and LeBron together. The problem with that combination is you don't have the support staff around them that you feel comfortable with. You don't have a couple of bigs that you're like, they're going to hold down the fort. You don't have defenders everywhere. You're saying, I guess Dorian Finney-Smith, Vando, but you lost Max Christie. I want to see LeBron and Luka play together. I want to see one playoff run with those two guys. I'm incredibly curious. I'm not telling you it's going to be the most successful combination, but what I'm telling you, a little bit fascinating to me. Like I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what those two guys are going to be like once they get going. All right, let's look at some more comments here. No one's talking about how Bron is an upgrade for Luka over Kyrie. Even at 40, he is better than Kyrie and won't fold in the finals like he did. Okay, a couple things here. Let's just let me address this one at a time, and I'll get to some of these other comments here in just a second about the question about Luka and LeBron playing together. This one actually I'm going to start because I think that's a good one. Do me a favor. Kyrie and folding in the finals should never be in the same sentence, ever. One of the biggest shots in NBA history in the NBA Finals was Kyrie Irving dealing a dagger in Game 7 on the road, a 3 to help the Cleveland Cavaliers win a championship. And I think it was the first in that city in, 50 years or something like that. Fold in the finals and Kyrie should never go in the same sentence. Now, if you want to say he wasn't that great if you want to say he wasn't that great in the NBA Finals, what I'll tell you is this: Boston was better. They were better prepared defensively. They were better. They had better players. They were more cohesive. Kyrie, that man ain't worried about taking big shots. He's not worried about taking big shots. But I know what you're talking about. What you're saying is Kyrie with LeBron, or I'm sorry, Luka with LeBron will be kind of a more interesting tandem, I think is what you're trying to say. But I do think at the end of the day, I think, they're completely different players. So LeBron played with Kyrie. Luka played with Kyrie. This will be the first time Luka and LeBron are playing together. I mean, but it's a little unfair, right? It's a little unfair in the sense that, how do I put this? One's 40, the other one's 25. So it's not like they're both playing at their prime or something like that. Kyrie did fold in the finals. Stop lying, Sliwa. Yeah, but you can't say, you guys are making it sound like the guy is afraid of the moment or can't hit a big shot or can't make it happen or anything like that. Boston was just better. I don't know what you guys want me to tell you. Boston was better. And if they played a best of 21, Boston's winning probably 15 of those games. A lot of people think that he did fold in the finals. No, I think the other squad was just better. Listen, Derek Wright, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, they were able to throw all these different players at him. Luka didn't have a good finals either. So look at me standing strong for Kyrie like he's my like him and I are blood related. Hell did that just come from? Can we sign up on the mobile app? Probably. I think you can. Manuel, thank you. I appreciate you asking that question, but I'm assuming you can. If you can't, then you can certainly do it on desktop. But I'm imagining through YouTube you can. I wouldn't see a reason why there isn't. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. All right, let me get a couple more of these. No one is talking about how Bron is an upgrade for the. Okay, I already read this one, even though he's better. Okay, we already did that one, so we got into it. Get another one in here. Reaves, LeBron, and Luka doesn't make any sense. This might be the best comment of anything that I've got today. And let me kind of explain. This is why I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, you got Austin Reaves. Don't tell me you don't have a chip that you could present out there to everybody else to see, obviously what kind of value you can get back. I had Eric Pincus on from Bleacher Report yesterday. We did a show. Again, it was like another 2-hour show, and him and I were talking for a while. And he said, I don't think Austin Reaves goes anywhere. And you know what his justification was? He said that Jeannie loves Reaves, that the front office loves Austin Reaves. So he doesn't think that they're going to trade him. I believe him. I 100% believe what he's saying. But just because I love a player, it doesn't mean I'm not giving up that player if it has the best interests of the team today, tomorrow, the future, and everything else. Let me tell you guys a player that I loved. There's 2 players I really liked on the Lakers. I was a big fan of Anthony Davis. I think everyone liked Max Christie. You know what the Lakers did in the last 48 hours? They traded both of them. If AD can get traded, they're not stopping at Austin Reaves. They're not. They just got the guy. They got Luka. If you told me tomorrow there's a team out there that said, okay, we're willing to get rid of this 3-and-D type of player that is, got a lot of potential in the NBA, maybe even borderline all-star player. Here's what we want. Austin Reaves, your first rounder in 2030. We're not trying to win now. So we'll give up this type of talent who will fit perfect with Luka because we don't need to win right now. We want draft capital. We want a young asset too that we feel like is going to be a part of this franchise. Whatever their justification is, right? Are the Lakers supposed to not take that call because they like Austin Reaves? Are the Lakers not supposed to take that call because the front office really likes him? You took a call for AD. You're not going to take a call for Austin Reaves? Again, nobody's saying give up Austin Reaves for nothing. All I'm trying to tell you is this is the perfect comment. Reaves, LeBron, and Luka, it doesn't make any sense. That those three are going to give up 160 points a night. You can't win that way. Now, if you're saying, no, we're keeping Reaves, and here's why we're keeping him. Reaves is going to come off the bench. It's going to be Luka and Dorian Finney-Smith in the backcourt, and it's LeBron, Rui, and I'll throw in Jackson Hayes there, and then we're going to make other moves because we're getting more size and more rebounding, but that's how we're going to use Reaves. Okay, I can understand that a little bit more. But if your backcourt is Luka and Reaves and you have LeBron, I can score 27 points on those three. Probably not, but you guys know I'm going with this. Listen, all I'm saying, I want to just emphasize this. I'm not saying go trade Austin Reaves. What I'm saying is take any call on Austin Reaves, and if you have a trade package for somebody that you feel like is the right player, okay, then if Austin Reaves is the cost of doing business, then Austin Reaves is the cost of doing business. And I love Reaves. All right, let me keep going here. You guys remember when I was defending Kyrie like we are family members? I was defending him. Like, how dare you guys talk about Kyrie? I don't know if I've ever been that passionate about another player, and I have no ties to Kyrie. Let's see what we got here. Reaves, LeBron, Luka. Okay, let's get another one in here. Beast mode. Thank you for the supers. Thank you for the regular comments. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you to our new partner, official first partner of the Sliwa Show, the Wallace Firm. Thank you very much to them as well. Man, very happy with where this channel is going, my people. Very, very happy. Very, very happy. You know, sometimes you got to take some risks in life, and you just kind of see where things are going. Feel great about where this channel is going. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. All right, let's keep going here. Beast mode. LA Times said Lakers are not worried about LeBron, that him will want out this season. Yeah, I was reading. I think Dan Wyke had an article this morning, and you know, I've said this before, even before the trade. Remember, before Lakers traded Anthony Davis and got Luka Doncic, people thought I was disrespecting LeBron, and that wasn't my intention. I wasn't trying to disrespect LeBron. But here's what I was saying for a while. What I was saying for a while is, guys, if Anthony Davis has something to say, if I'm running the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron has something to say, of course, I'm sitting back and, LeBron, what do you think? Okay, got it. Understand it. But if Anthony Davis said something and requested something, I'm telling LeBron, hey, can you wait a second? I really got to answer this call. And it's Anthony Davis. I'm listening to AD more than I'm listening to LeBron. LeBron's 40. I don't know if LeBron's playing past this year. I don't know if LeBron's playing past next year. I don't know what LeBron wants to do in the offseason. He's got another player option. Does he opt in? Does he say, I'm done? Does he opt out and say, you know what, I'm going to go chase a ring. Maybe I'm going to go play with Steph and the Warriors. I'm making things up, right? I don't know what LeBron's going to do. But Anthony Davis, I know, was the most important person on the franchise. That was Anthony Davis, who's 31 going on 32. Well, now I got Luka in the room. Do you know how the dynamic changes now with Luka in the room? LeBron wants to say something to me. I have to tell LeBron, do me a favor. Or LeBron's calling me. I'm sending it to voicemail. I got to get back to him when Luka's done. I got to listen to Luka. This is Luka's franchise now. This is the guy that you've been waiting for and hoping would fall on you. Actually, it's not even the guy you're hoping for. You never in your wildest dreams imagined Luka would be a Laker. Never. Maybe 3 years from now, maybe if he ever became a free, but they never kind of went together. I've never thought any of these top 5 players were going to be Lakers. And they got Luka at 25. So to go with this, you know, beast mode, what you put out there, LA Times, like Lakers not worried about LeBron. Guys, it can't be. He's 40. Now, if LeBron was 35, yeah, that's a different conversation. I mean, hell, even this past offseason when LeBron was 39, they're still hiring JJ Redick. So it's not like LeBron hasn't still had power, but the power dynamic is a little bit different. Let's get another one in here. Hey, Slee, dope live, great points. Thanks. Do you think the Lakers will be making room to bring in a superstar center to play with Luka later? Greetings from Lil San Fernando Valley. Peace. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for the super. Shout out to you. And thank you for being a part of the show. $10, very generous of you, very nice of you. So thank you for doing that. You know what gets me really excited about the Lakers right now? Let me tell you what gets me excited about the Lakers. And I'm going to go back to this point here. What gets me excited is not this year, not next year. What gets me excited about the Lakers is when Luka's 27 and he's yet to walk into his prime yet. Your prime's supposed to be around 28 to 32, right? When I played basketball, my prime was from 16 to 40. I was just like one of those freaks of nature, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't have to tell you guys, okay? When I was 16, I was playing like I was 28. 7 turnovers a game. Pickup ball, 7 turnovers. I got benched in a pickup game. All right, so let me explain this here real quick. Here's what I get excited about with the Lakers. What I get excited about is I don't know what they're going to be able to do this year. I don't know what they're going to be able to do next year. But I know when LeBron is off those books, hypothetically, and I know that now they have got a full year to think what to do and how to build with Luka. And I know that every other player around the NBA that's saying to themselves, what's the most popular franchise in all of in the entire NBA? Which franchise is that? It's the Los Angeles Lakers. Where can I get absurd marketing opportunities and, additional revenue opportunities? In what market is that? LA and New York. LA is the number 2 market in the country. Okay. So let me think of LA. What brand is an international brand that I can also grow my brand way past just the city of LA or just the state of California? Okay, that's the Lakers. Where is there another generational star that I can play with? And what market is he in? It's Luka, who's at the right age, 26, 27 years old. Lakers on Saturday night became the most interesting destination for the next 5 years of Lakers basketball or of the NBA. The seismic shift in the NBA. Luka right now, I guarantee you right now, Luka's in his feelings. He's shocked that he got traded from the Dallas Mavericks. He feels probably like shit because, it's the first time somebody told him when it came to basketball, we don't want you. We're not picking you. We're actually picking somebody else. But there's going to come a time where Luka's going to take, he had a note yesterday that he sent to the Dallas fans. It was on X and maybe on Instagram as well. That was like heartfelt, emotional, real, genuine, authentic. It made that front office even look stupider. You got the fans of the Dallas Mavericks, how angry they are about the situation. But Luka's going to eventually turn the page on the Mavs, and he's going to look at the Lakers, and he's going to there will be this internal rage that he's never had before, this internal drive that he's never had before. There's going to be another superstar in the NBA that wants to be with him. They don't have to go to a market they're not interested. They don't have to go to a cold weather market. They don't have to go to a team they're not really 100% sure. Are they focused on winning? Are they not winning? I'm not telling you the Lakers front office is perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But here's what I will tell you. They know what to do with superstars, and they want to win championships. There's going to be a superstar that looks at the situation. So when I get this question from Paul Mazik, what I will tell you is, as you look at the future for the Lakers, to me, that's what gets me most excited about this Lakers team and the next 5 years. Who's going to want to come play with Luka on the Lakers? It's going to be a superstar. We know that. All the other, reasoning for wanting to play for the Lakers franchise, the motivation to want to win, it's going to be interesting. And that's what I mean by it's a new era of Lakers basketball. That's what I'm referring to. That's what I'm talking about when I say it's this new era of Lakers basketball. That's what I'm referring to. Really good point. Really good question there. And whether I'm giving you an exact player or not, I don't think that's my intention to tell you which player. I didn't know a year ago De'Aaron Fox was going to be available in a trade. I didn't know on Saturday afternoon that Luka was going to be available in a trade. I don't know who's going to become available. I don't. Is there a player right now on another roster that would be a perfect fit with Luka that's saying, I'm under contract. You know what? In a year, I'm going to demand a trade and I'm only going to play for the Lakers. And then it's up to that team to make a trade with the Lakers. Can that happen? Of course it can. We didn't know AD wanted out of New Orleans until we knew AD wanted out of New Orleans. He wanted to be a Laker. You know who's a perfect fit with Luka? AD. Just heads up on that. He would be a perfect fit. Okay, a couple shout outs here. Bigger64, a new YouTube member. Thank you, brother. Shavo King X, a new YouTube member. Thank you. Amir Katz, a new YouTube member. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. $3 a month to be a member. Supports the channel. And I appreciate you guys all doing that. All right, let's see what else we got here. Damn, I will not shut up today. Well, we're definitely going to get to 2 hours, and then we'll figure out from there. Yeah, I've seen this a couple times. Rudy Gobert. Guys, can I tell you guys something? You know, I love the ideas and the concepts and everything else, but I don't think, because I saw Jaden McDaniels' name as well, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are done trading. Like, they already look like idiots for trading Karl Anthony Towns. I think that's done. They're not going anywhere, you know? So I don't think Gobert is going anywhere. I don't think Jaden McDaniels. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are, I think because they already made a seismic trade and they've taken a step back in, obviously in the Western Conference. Where are they right now? I think I saw they were playing a little bit better. Let me see where they're at. Minnesota, 5 games over 500, 6-4 in their last 10. So, nothing special. Very beatable. I don't think there's a team. I don't think they're a team that you're like, oh my gosh. I'd be more worried about Houston. I'd be more worried about Memphis. There's other teams I'd be worried about more than I'd be worried about within the Minnesota Timberwolves. But I don't think they're going to I don't think they're trading these guys. Do I think if you got a player like Rudy Gobert on the Lakers with a player like Luka, sure. I think that would be a tremendous amount of help for the entire defensive, presence of the Lakers. Does he lack in offense? He does, but kind of gives you your defensive staple. But I don't think that's going to happen. So just something to keep in mind there. Sliwa, you're driving me nuts. Don't know why, but I will take it. Maybe this. You're saying Jokic? Would Nikola Jokic ever say, I've been in Denver. I accomplished great things here in Denver. Won an NBA championship for them. I want to go play with Luka. Guys, I don't know. I know this. I know that I never thought there was a world Luka was going to be a Laker at 25. So whatever my perception was of the NBA, did you guys hear Kevin Durant and Devin Booker talking after they got traded? Or I'm sorry, talking about the trade after it happened? They're like, if Luka can get traded, anyone can get traded. Anyone. Especially Luka didn't ask to be traded. There was nothing that had come out. That's the part that was so confusing to me yesterday when I'm listening to Nico Harrison talk about, they asked him the question. I thought the reporters were asking great questions. They're like, hey, was there any indication that he wasn't going to sign an extension? No. Was there any indication that he didn't want to stay in Dallas? No. So you traded a 25-year-old that it actually felt like enjoyed Dallas, wanted to stay in Dallas, and wanted to win a championship in Dallas. That's who you traded? Yes. So if Luka can get traded at 25, then, like KD was saying, like Devin Booker was saying, anyone can get traded. But if you told me, what do I think Jokic is going to, I think Jokic is going to stay right in Denver. I think he loves it there. I think he's a king there. I think he's the best player in the world. And frankly, I don't even think it's close. Jokic likes that mountain lifestyle. He ain't coming to LA. We got mountains out here. Plenty of mountains in Southern California. You kidding me? Plenty of mountains. Maybe a guy like Giannis. I don't know. I really don't know. But I think you don't have to know. I think, looking into the future, a year and a half, all I'm telling you is on Saturday night, I guarantee you there was multiple NBA players that were saying, that's going to be interesting over there. That's going to be interesting over there in LA. That global brand, that global superstar. That's going to be interesting. How crazy is it going to be to see Luka in that first Lakers game? That's going to be insane. Manuel. Buck99, thank you very much for the super brother. I appreciate you very much. Are the Lakers having a press conference for Luka? I'm sure at some point. I don't know the details of that. Typically, we'll find out at some point. We're on this chain here, and the Lakers have this communications that's out there, and their PR department. So as soon as we find something out, we'll find out. But eventually, I'm assuming for a player of that magnitude, they're going to do whatever the hell. And Lakers are really good at that stuff. Okay, let me play something here real quick. I don't know how great the audio is going to be, but I saw this as I just opened up Twitter. So let me remember Luka flew in last night, so we all know that. Let's take a quick look here. Here's Luka. Lakers put this out 17 minutes ago.
What's up, Laker fans? I'm in LA. Excited to meet you all. What's up, Laker fans? I'm in LA. Excited to meet you all.
All right. So Luka got this from Pal. Congratulations on these fantastic 6 years, AD. Giving love to Anthony Davis. Yeah, I think most Laker fans got a lot of love for AD. That part I 100% agree with. I think they got a lot of love for Anthony Davis, and they should. I don't think there's any reason why they wouldn't have love for him. Legendary 6-second video. All right, let's keep going here. I did mention this. I did mention that there were some other trades in the league. So I'm going to give everyone just let's talk a little bit about some of those other trades, because they're going to have some influence in the Western Conference, because really ultimately at the end of the day, Lakers are obviously going to be fighting for a couple of things. And, one of the things that they're going to be fighting for is playoff positioning. What's going to happen? Are they going to move backwards if they don't make a trade? The team is not whole the way it was with Anthony Davis. So it's going to take some time for them to figure it out. So a couple other trades went down yesterday. I am going to just kind of, let me see here. We do our weekend recap. By the way, just a heads up here, I did mention our new partner. Weekend Recap is presented by the Wallace Firm. If you need legal help for a serious injury, the Wallace Firm are proven trial lawyers. We got our own landing page for this. You can go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa to learn a little bit more about that. As this partnership continues, I'll just tell you guys a little bit more about my relationship with Brad Wallace, and really just somebody that has helped me in the industry and continues to support me in what I'm doing. So, little bit of a weekend recap here. Is it just me, or did people feel like, I'll get back into the Lakers, don't worry. Like I mentioned, we'll go as long as we need to go. Is it just me, or did that Spurs, Kings, and Bulls trade feel like nothing happened? De'Aaron Fox just got traded to the San Antonio Spurs. Do you know what a great move that is for San Antonio? The Spurs I'd call De'Aaron Fox, what do you guys think, top 25 in the league? Maybe top 30 at the worst. I think he's top 25. And I don't have all the players in my mind, but I'm a fan of De'Aaron Fox's game. I think he's from the state of Texas as well. He put pressure on the Sacramento Kings, let them know, this was about a month ago that it came out that before they even fired their head coach, Mike Brown, before they fired him, there was conversation of they got to kind of get their stuff together. Rich Paul had indirectly had said some stuff, and then next thing you know, it's like he wants to go play for the San Antonio Spurs. And then last night, trade went down. Sacramento trades De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs. Zach LaVine ends up with the Sacramento Kings. And then Chicago basically got, some picks and everything else. Let me give you guys the details. De'Aaron Fox, Jordan McLaughlin goes to the San Antonio Spurs. The Kings get Zach LaVine, Sidi Sissoko. I probably did not pronounce that right. They also get a bunch of picks, but from what I was hearing is these picks are not all that valuable. 2025 first-round pick, 2025 second-round pick, 2027 first-rounder, 2028 second-rounder, and a 2028 second-rounder as well. Bulls get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and a 2025 first-rounder as well. When I first heard the details of the trade, I thought Sacramento got a pretty good haul back. The more that I read into it, it's like, no, it's a decent haul, and they're clearly just refused to be sellers. That's why people are asking for, is Sabonis going to end up being a Laker? Or will the Sacramento Kings want to trade Sabonis? I don't think they are, and it tells you that they're not because Zach LaVine is on that squad now, so they're clearly not being sellers. I don't know how much better Sacramento got. I know there was some quotes out there. I think it was Trey Lyles that was saying that the energy was bad in that Kings locker room. So they're going to get that out of the way. But San Antonio is the most interesting one to me. The fact that they got who they got and they're pairing him up with Victor Wembanyama. And oh, by the way, they still got a ton of first rounders, still got a ton of flexibility. I think there were a lot of people that were shocked that the San Antonio Spurs didn't have to give up a lot of these young players that they have. They really didn't. So San Antonio is sitting pretty, and that franchise is obviously going to be a problem in the Western Conference for years to come. Stephon Castle, they didn't have to give up. Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, they didn't have to give up. So there were a number of players from the San Antonio Spurs that people were just really surprised did not go in the trade. The other news that was out there, again, this is part of the weekend recap. Jimmy Butler tells the Warriors he won't sign with them if he's traded to the Golden State Warriors. I guess apparently now Jimmy Butler has got one destination in mind, and it's very simple where that destination is. He wants to be a Phoenix Sun, and that's it. Doesn't want to go anywhere else. Teams that were interested supposedly in Jimmy Butler, they're basically all just kind of going down now. Butler has a $52 million player option for next season. Butler's focus remains on getting traded to the Phoenix Suns, where he has shown an interest in signing a multi-year deal, sources said. So it's going to be complicated to do it because they got Bradley Beal there. Bradley Beal has got a no-trade clause. So there was a lot that happened this weekend, but none of it was news compared to the news that went down with the Lakers and Luka and Anthony Davis. So gives everybody just kind of a little bit of an idea of all the different moves that were going down over the weekend. And all of them just seemed like nothing compared to what the Lakers did. So there's your weekend recap there, presented by the Walls firm. All right, let's take a look at more of these comments here. Now, what a fun time of the year. What are the fun? I don't know how the NBA does it. The NBA free agency and trade deadline has got to be as popular as the NBA Finals. Has to be. It's a fun time of the year. And you know what's going to probably end up happening the moment, I'm done with this show today? There's probably going to be another trade that goes down. And then we're going to have the curiosity of what are the Lakers going to do? Can they improve the roster? I might as well just stay live. I'm going to get like one of those baby straps or whatever when you put babies on, put my laptop there, and I'll just keep walking around live wherever I go. Let's go to Trader Joe's together. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. All right, let me get in here. Costas, I was offline for 2 days. Did I miss anything? Yes. You missed the Bulls got a second round pick from the Kings. That's all you missed. You didn't miss anything else. Costas, thank you for the super brother. Ben, gambling won't be legal in Texas. Mavs trade 77 to tank fan love. Mavs roster. New Vegas team. Bron buys Cuban steak. AD Kyrie kid start Bron's career as Las Vegas owner. Ben, every conspiracy theory that I can possibly think of. I was looking at Mavs reaction yesterday, some of the different individuals that were doing shows. I did see something like that. It's like, oh, this is a ploy to eventually want to sell the team to Vegas, the new group that bought the Dallas Mavericks and took a majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban's now a minority owner. Now that he owns less, doesn't have any say in basketball decisions. If he did, Luka would not be a Los Angeles Laker right now. So just keep that one in mind. But I understood where they were trying to get with those conspiracy theories, because the new ownership is a group that just, it's actually individual owners. They're just moguls in Vegas, and they own, some of these different casinos. We know that the NBA has interest in going to Vegas, but that sounds like a lot of, I don't think Dallas is leaving. The Mavericks, I don't think, are leaving Dallas, my personal opinion. And why would Vegas even, they're looking to, the NBA would be looking to add 2 franchises. If it's one in Vegas and one in Seattle, or however it works out, I don't think they're moving franchises. But I'm always ready for a good conspiracy theory. Northborough AES. AD, clutch. Fox, clutch. Levine, clutch. Nurkic, next. Yeah, but, doesn't this clutch relationship tell you a little bit something about where everybody is? Right? Like, doesn't this clutch relationship tell you a little bit about Anthony Davis is clutch? He just got traded. De'Aaron Fox is clutch. He just signed with the San Antonio Spurs. Can I tell you something? You know what would not be good for clutch sports is if that every player was tied to the Lakers. I think that'd be bad for business. I think that'd be bad. I think teams wouldn't want to work with some of those athletes, or wouldn't want to work with that agency. But that's not the case. There's a lot of players that are represented by clutch that are also on other teams. And these last 2 trades are great examples. AD is clutch, great friends with LeBron. He just got traded to the Dallas Mavericks. And then we obviously know what happened to De'Aaron Fox. Right when De'Aaron Fox was available, everybody's like, oh, he's got to be coming to the Lakers, or maybe there's a tie there because it's clutch. De'Aaron Fox is like, no, I'm good. I want to go play in Texas. I want to go play in San Antonio. Dad of 3. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member, brother. I appreciate it. Everybody, thank you for becoming members. I appreciate that. All right, how are we looking? We good? Get a couple more of these in. Let's get some of these in that are would be poetic for the Lakers to knock out Mavs in a Western Conference semis. Hey, my job here is to be honest with you guys. So I'm going to be honest with everybody here. If the Lakers played the Mavs right now, no, I think Dallas has definitely got the advantage. Guys, they got size and they play defense. They got size and they play defense. But this was never a play, in my opinion. For the Lakers, this was much bigger than, this year. Now, if you told me in 2 years, where are both franchises, I want to be where the Lakers are going to be because of Luka and because what they're building around Luka. So I really genuinely, I think when I did a video yesterday, I said short-term and long-term. The long-term plan for the Lakers is to build around Luka, get another superstar, and you got somebody for 5, 7, 10 more years that's going to be a part of your franchise. The short-term, they got some figuring out to do here short-term. I don't think that we can be sitting here, and if anybody thinks that short-term for the Lakers, this squad is good the way they are, of course not. Come on, we all know that. But it would be incredible if the Lakers made a couple of moves. Let's say the Lakers went out there and got a big, they got another wing, small moves, nothing crazy, but they were able to kind of address, okay, we need defense, we need rebounding. They were able to address that. And then let's just say, I'm making up stuff, right? Let's say Lakers were a 6 seed in the West and the Dallas Mavericks were a 3 seed. That's not going to happen because I don't think they're going to move up. 4 or 5, something like that. Can you imagine those two teams playing each other? Oh my gosh. First round of the playoffs? Or is this saying here the Western Conference of the semis? Yeah, that's probably more realistic because Lakers get like Memphis in the first round and Dallas gets Houston, and both of those two teams win, and now they're both playing against each other. That's probably more realistic there. Mavs went 7-14 without Luka. You're right about that. They need Luka. But they now get Anthony Davis. So go look at what the Lakers record probably is without Anthony Davis. I think they've actually done okay without him, but that's not sustainable. Brian Windhorst says the Lakers are no longer LeBron's team. Everything the Lakers will do going forward will be about number 77. They are now Luka Doncic's team. Dave, I appreciate you putting that quote in there. Of course, it's a no-brainer. Guys, there's nothing to discuss there. There's nothing, further to get into. It's a no-brainer whose squad this obviously is. Now they're going to be respectful to LeBron. LeBron's still going to want to try to win right now. No, LeBron's still got a ton of power. It's just, obviously you understand, and LeBron understands too, the Lakers got their next player for the next 10 years. Come on, one more hour. David, I got to use the restroom, man. You don't have commercial breaks in here. And when I have a commercial break, I'm doing the commercial. All right, let's keep going here. Where's Trevor? First hour. Go back to the first hour. He was there. Probably an hour. What did we do? Got him at 15. Yeah, first hour. He's in that first hour. All right, let's see if it's official yet. Let's see here. I want to see something here real quick. Stay with me. We'll basically go until a man has to use the restroom at some point. All right, let's keep going here. Yeah, I see some people saying that, pressure coming up, this, that, and I'm talking about, eventually with Luka, but I don't have any of the details of it. So I'm not going to report on anything until something's official out there. Okay. Let's look at a couple other things here. I saw this. Did you guys see Charles Barkley's reaction? You guys want to hear it? Let me play this for everybody. It's kind of funny. I found kind of funny with Barkley yesterday. I found it kind of funny that yesterday, all of a sudden, Charles Barkley, I feel like, was giving a lot of credit towards the Dallas Mavericks and to Anthony Davis. In my head, I'm like, this guy's been demolishing. It feels like Anthony Davis for a long time. Now, all of a sudden, he's loving AD. What am I missing here? I love AD. I think a lot of people in this chat got a lot of love for AD. But I never heard Charles Barkley going out of his way. Now, listen, maybe he was giving him credit. I know a lot of times that he was going at Anthony Davis. It had more to do with his lack of availability, but he's the one that came up with street clothes and all that other stuff. But let me play this real quick because I saw this a little bit earlier, and I know it was on the Greeny show this morning. Let's take a listen. Here is Charles Barkley reacting to that trade that, obviously, but I think looking at it more from a Dallas's perspective. Take a listen.
Well, I want to give him his flowers, Greeny, for standing up.
This is Nico Harrison. He's talking about giving Nico Harrison his flowers.
He didn't run. A lot of general managers, when they make trades, they put out statements or they don't go right to the press conference.
There's an exception to the rule in this one. I want to, point this out in regards to Charles Barkley. This is not a regular trade. You can't be Nico. There is not a world that exists that Nico Harrison was trading Luka and just put out a statement and didn't say anything. 100% that's not, obviously the case. That's not going to be the case. So you can give Nico Harrison credit for facing a mic. He just traded the franchise player who's 25 years old, and you got all of Dallas and probably the state of Texas saying, what the F did you just do? He's not going to just say, hey, here's my statement, And Jason Kidd, why don't you go do a presser and you talk about it? Let's keep listening to it.
I want to give Nico his flowers for standing up, saying what he had to say it for. He stood on business. Now we're going to sit back and watch. This is going to be one of the best reality TV shows probably in the history of sports. You know, Greener, this trade was a shocker for a couple reasons. Number one, it came out of nowhere, first and foremost. But secondly, what's really intriguing, not normally when you trade a great player, you get a bunch of junk in return. The Mavs got a great Anthony Davis. So Luka's great.
This I'm going to give Barkley credit for. I think we have all paid so much attention to Luka that we have not given enough value of what the Mavs are getting in return. But I don't think people are trying to disrespect Anthony Davis. I think what they're trying to say is, well, he's 31, about to be 32. He's obviously had his fair share of injuries as well. Luka was the franchise player, the cream of the crop. If you told me today you could start a franchise with any player in the NBA, you're not getting very far without mentioning Luka's name. You could say Jokic, you could say Shea, you could say Giannis. Luka's coming up. So I don't think people are saying that they didn't get anything back in return. I think it's more just the shock that he was traded.
Anthony Davis is great. This is going to be one of the most fascinating things. And the thing is, it's going to be fascinating probably for the next 10 years. The Mavs won the trade for the immediate next three or 4 years. But the Lakers got a bright future if they put the right pieces around Luka.
I was stop it right there. So that's Barkley. That was obviously talking about the move. I just said this. I was talking about it a little bit earlier. Barkley confuses me a little bit. He confuses me a little bit because, like I said, what he was saying about Anthony Davis, and then now it's, he's given kind of love to, the Dallas Mavericks. But listen, it's a very big risk what Nico, the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, did. Maybe it works out. Maybe it works out. Maybe they were right not to give Luka $345. Maybe they were right maybe they win a championship. But the risk, reward, very risky. Because they can't even get to the NBA Finals and be okay with that because they've already got to the NBA Finals with Luka. So, I mean, and I think the fact that you're looking at what's the next couple of years after that going to look like, I think that part's crazy. Craziest thing about Luka is that he's only 25. He's younger than Reaves and SGA, only 2 years older than Connect. That's crazy for a 5-time All-NBA first team. Now, listen, his stats to start off his career, literally, they're legendary. Legendary stats, what he's done by age 25. Legendary. Let's see what we got here. A couple more of these here. I did see a little bit more, and again, I'll still be hesitant on it, but I did see a little bit more in regards to when they could eventually, or when they would potentially do that presser. But I'll wait on it. When I see something official, I'll report on it. So we'll just we'll wait on that for now. Okay, let me see a couple more things here. Let's get a couple more people's thoughts and opinion, and then we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it a show. Lakers always get what they want. Kareem, Kobe, Pau, LeBron. They do. It's the reason why a lot of people are. It's the reason why a lot of people don't like the Lakers. Right. And I'm sure there was a lot of NBA fans on Saturday night saying, are you shitting me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Out of all franchises, Luka's getting traded. He's getting traded to the Lakers. What are you talking about? What do you mean he's getting traded to the Lakers? That makes no sense at all. Why would the Dallas Mavericks, first, why would Dallas trade him? Second, why would they trade him to the Lakers of all teams? I get it. I get how franchises, I got somebody on here And I did see this. Let me see here. Where was it? I think it was Bill Simmons. Somebody had a comment in here about Bill Simmons basically losing it when he was explaining it. Bill Simmons actually did a great job explaining. He's like, how do they keep doing this? For 60 years, they've been doing this. Whether it's Wilt Chamberlain, whether it's Kareem, whether it's, Magic the Lakers got. I know they drafted him. Kobe on draft night with the trade. Shaq signed with the Lakers, left the Orlando Magic. Powell the trade for Kwame Brown. How do they keep doing this? LeBron decides he can go anywhere. He's going to sign with the Lakers. There's just certain franchises. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But I understand the frustration. But they shouldn't be mad at the Lakers this time around, because Luka wasn't demanding a trade to the Lakers. No. The Mavs were the ones that initiated the call. I encourage you guys to go read a couple of these articles where Nico Harrison explains basically how this all came about. Nico Harrison has a relationship with Rob Pelinka. Lakers were playing the Mavs, I think, in early January, the first week in January. And at some point, Nico Harrison asked to sit down with Rob, and he's the one that presented the idea, the concept of trading, obviously Anthony Davis, trading Luka. That one's not on the Lakers. I mean, this one is literally a gift given by the Dallas Mavericks. So something to keep in mind from that perspective. All right, let's see what else we got here. Expansion draft will be in Dallas, not Las Vegas. Ben Hinson. Yeah, I don't think Dallas is going to get moved, guys. I don't think the Mavs are moving from Dallas. It's not based off of anything. I don't know. I didn't even know that was an option, but I don't think they're going anywhere. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. All right, my people. I think we're good. I think today was a really, really fun show to do. I got to be honest with you guys. Today was great. Really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Trevor Lane. I enjoyed his time. I enjoyed trying to kind of figure out this membership stuff and getting that started and support right out the gate. So I greatly appreciate you guys supporting the new membership. So thank you very much for doing that. Thank you again. Shout out. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but it means a lot to me that I got a new partner that is, obviously a new partnership that's part of the show. So shout out to the Wallace firm that's supporting what I'm doing, is supporting what I'm trying to do, kind of what I'm trying to build and everything else. So shout out to them as well. So from, obviously the bottom of my heart, I appreciate how kind of putting all this stuff together. So thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for hanging out. I'll be back on tomorrow. Now, let me just say this as far as tomorrow goes. If I got to move some things around just based on if something else is going on, if I'm good to do the show at 8 a.m. tomorrow, I'm going to do it. If there is announcements or anything like that going on, then I might have to adjust, but we'll figure it out as we go. No matter what, I'm doing a live show tomorrow, but I'll keep you guys posted as far as time goes and everything else, if the Lakers are doing any announcements or something like that. But I haven't seen any official word, so I'm just going to wait and pretend like I'm back on tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Lakers also got the Clippers tomorrow, so we'll be doing a post-game show after that. So thank you for being a part of the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the videos if you don't mind. And if you want to support the channel, you can also be a member. It's $3 a month. And I guarantee you I'll give you more value than $3 a month if you're hanging out with me for the month. So thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And we will see you tomorrow.